good evening, everyone. Evening for me, morning for you guys, afternoon. I don't know what time. Actually, that's a good question. Let me do that because I always ask you guys, where are you tuning in from? What are you having for the beverage for the evening or daytime? If it's tea, tell me what you're drinking. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me where you're tuning in from. This is a little decompressed time because when you go live and the camera starts rolling, you actually feel a little bit more nervous than you thought you would be. So we like to use this first few minutes just to decompress a little bit. Tell them what you're doing. We got, oh, hang on. I got to call this one out real quick. I've got someone, Barney Cat, champagne and celebrating the bar. Congratulations on passing the bar exam. I welcome you to a field that is going to give you endless tumult, uh, mixed satisfaction, but higher than high highs and sometimes lower than low lows. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy the practice and I hope you are doing well. I've got UK. I've got HI. Is that Hawaii? 7 p.m. in Dallas. Good evening, South Carolina. Sweet tea. Good Lord, good gracious. Arkansas and some vodka. You're going to need it. Philly and some Cabernet. And there are a lot of you here already. So I might have to help my mods at some point and slow things down because, whoa, you guys are coming in hot. New North Carolina and sweet tea. Love it. Wisconsin in the house. Seattle area in the house. Tuning in from Berkeley. Just water for now. I feel like that's telling me something. Tea from Maryland. New Jersey Pinot Grigio. It's a little chilly, but I see it. Chicago Burbs. Margarita, South Jersey, drinking some Coca-Cola, Coke, New Mexico. Hello, Rob, and all from Minnesota. And we've got some Wisconsin in the house. We've got some good evening in North Carolina. I am trying to play catch up, but that's not possible because when I asked you guys, tea from the Northeast. When I asked you guys where you're tuning in from and what you were drinking, usually I've only got a couple hundred here. And it never really fills up this quick. Jefferson City, Missouri, either way, South Dakota, some vodka. Bedford, Virginia. It's been quite a day, Rob. It has indeed, but it's Friday. And we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna be fun. We're gonna be spicy. I think it might be more spicy than fun because of the content that we have had to cover all week long that we have to break down. Kimberling City, what is that, Missouri? I think so. MO. Why? Look, MO state abbreviation. That yes, I knew it was Missouri. I'm not entirely out of it. Topo Chico in Virginia. Wichita, Kansas, and a Dr. Pepper, 23 flavors. Hello, Law and Lumber. Good evening from Arizona, sparkling water. We've got things all over the place. Strasburg, Virginia. Wine, good wine from Wine Country, London and Malbec. I love my wine drinkers in the chat. My gosh, there's a lot of you here. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Coke Zero. Got to pick up a kid later. Slide of California or Slide of Louisiana. Hopefully everything's going well down there as well. I think it's cooling down a bit down there. Hello from Florida. And we've already got some unicorns in the chat. Unicorns don't bother me. I love the unicorns. I've got some Michigan drinking blueberry Tennessee moonshine this fine evening. It is a fine evening. Warsaw, Missouri, drinking some beer. Tea in Washington State. Charleston, South Carolina is in the house. We've got Switzerland in the house. Boca Raton, Gina, a regular follower of the channel, drinking Bahama Mama. Careful with that. That sugar will get to you. Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Hello there. How you doing? What you doing this evening? How was your week? How was the week? Because I can tell you how my week was. My week was supposed to be super productive, and it was. I did get a lot done. I was typing motions while watching some of this stuff. But when you're typing while watching some of this stuff, speaking of the stuff, we're talking about Darrell Brooks stuff. It's hard to continue typing. Gin and Appletzer, Appletizer in South Africa. Well, hello from South Africa, Nebraska, Alberta, Canada. I've got another person in here who's doing his daily routine. He's building something, but Ian is here in spirit as he is going about his daily tasks. He's working on in a shop project. That's why you see the avatar. The avatar is there. Oh, there he is. We have Ian.
You guys don't need to see the shop because it would probably raise more questions than it would answer. It's a mess in here, but I suspect it'd get a lot of people going, what is that thing? Why do you have that?
And safety protocols, like you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to be holding a phone while I'm, operating the drill press and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, just, general stuff like that. Here, maybe I'll weird your chat out here.
Oh my, what are we gonna do? Hey, Anita, good seeing you. Happy Friday, Lexington, Kentucky. I see ya. Oh, we're going full creepy mode.
Now, the fun thing is that you think that's probably for Halloween, and it wasn't. That's been there for about 7 months.
Ian. Well, I mean, heck, you know what? You do what you do. Let me see if I can slow the chat down a little bit because mods are yelling at me. The chat's so fast. The chat's so fast. I'm sorry that I have to slow it down, guys. But the thing is, I love hearing from all of you. And if I can't slow it down, then I can't hear from any of you. And that was, thank you, Kathy. Thank you for pointing that out. I've got Houston, Texas, Chardonnay. Hopefully a good one. Australian, Tears of the Innocent. I hope the Tears of the Innocent is a little bit of sarcasm.
That's actually a beverage.
I think the Tears of the Guilty is what we want to be drinking. Coffee in Seattle. Sweet tea, Northern Virginia. I am like the chat's flying, so I am way behind. Eating dinner, Colorado. We've got some Lincoln, New England, and water, Ohio, and blackberry wine, Darwin, Australia. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So tell me about your week. I want to hear how y'all were doing this week. If it was great, tell me it was great. If it was bad, tell me it was horrible. And you just needed a little break from reality because that is, that's just what the week was. Pittsburgh, Woodford here. Woodford is fantastic. My drink of choice when I'm having a old fashioned, my favorite beverage of all choice. North Carolina, Jaeger bombs. That is going to end poorly, as any person who's ever had Jaeger bombs will know. But hey, jar of peanut butter, you enjoy those while you can. Got some Dearborn, Michigan in the house. California, Dr. Pepper. Wow, you guys are coming in from all over the place. Beer in Colorado, Olympia, Washington, Merlot, Washington, Olympia, Washington specifically. Great wines come out of that region. Why do I know so much about wine? Because I drink a lot of wine. Western New York and water, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Netherlands, New Hampshire, Staunton, Virginia. Kind of a little bit of everything, and we're all having fun. So, holy smokes. All right, still trying to catch up. Catch up, Rob. You can do this. We are professionals. Was sent to you by Peter Tragos. Yeah, Peter and I are good friends, even though he constantly throws shade in my direction. And when we do eventually play that golf tournament, we're going to have to do some type of arrangement because I'm going to need a big handicap from him because he plays golf and he plays good golf. But we've got Netherlands, we've got Missouri. Yep, thank you, Callista, for calling that out. It took me like 2 seconds. I found it. That tells you how fast the chat's going. We've got a lot that went on this week, and a lot in one particular case. Week started crazy, week ended crazier. I thought I had seen. I thought I had seen everything, but Ian. Now that I know I have you on audio, and by the way, when Ian cuts out of audio, it's because he is running power tools in the background.
Yeah, you guys don't need to hear that. That would sound, I mean, nobody needs to hear that.
No, I don't want to hear that. I mean, I do want to hear that, but in my own shop.
Yeah,
But since
fair
I'm
enough.
hosting,
Well, that's a Dremel, so it's not exactly the most, you know, in-depth of power tools, but it is doing the job for what I need right now.
2200 watch. Oh my gosh, already? Wow, that's fantastic. You know, this trial is so wild that I know you probably have some thoughts, right? How much have you been able to see, Ian, if you're not in the middle
Well,
of a power tool session?
bits and pieces, sort of as I can. Um, the sad thing is that I've seen guys like him before, not on the like multiple murders thing, because you know this is an unusual place to be trying these kinds of tactics. And I mean, there just aren't that many multiple murders around. But like this sort of BS, usually you see it in these guys show up all the time in traffic court because they get pulled over because like um, they've got you know a license plate that they drew themselves, and then they get pulled over and they're like, "I'm not driving, I'm traveling." And it's like, okay, traveler, where's your driver's license? No, no, I'm traveling. I don't need a driver's license. You only need a driver's license if you're doing it commercially. Yeah, that's not the case. Driver's license, and then pretty soon they end up in custody. So they end up being brought in, and it takes work to be brought in handcuffs over a traffic ticket. Like this is actually something you got to put some effort into. And but it these guys do this all the time. But it's a lot less cute when they're doing it over a violent offense. Because I mean, you know, it's when you see the prosecutor who's having to deal with these guys over a you know a no insurance ticket, you're like, oh well, no worries. Um, you know, it's and you can sort of laugh at the prosecutor who's got to put up with that. Um, it's less funny when the guy is accused of you know hitting his wife or something.
I mean, it's less funny. And with this one, so I'm gonna play the opening statement. It's probably gonna be one of the first things I do. I don't know. Did I accidentally type exhibit E? I'm not sure, Dactar. I'm not positive on that one. I'm gonna go through the opening statement. I have a different take than a lot of people on that as to what he's thinking when that's going on. And I kind of previewed it that Falls Church, Virginia, right down the street. And Aviation Fanatic is pointing out that what I pointed out off stream is that we have a lovely pepper that is your avatar at the moment.
Yeah, I'm on my
Which
cell phone, so I don't have the typical Zora picture. But I
Mhm.
figure, you know, I'm gonna have some comments about Mr. Brooks, so we kind of have spicy Runkle. So might as well be spicy Runkle.
I like that. And
So
I'm gonna try and institute a rule tonight. A little bit weird. Because I usually don't have rules on Friday Night Frenzy. But this one's gonna be fun because it's gonna be challenging.
if this is drink whenever he says something stupid, I will die.
No, it's not. It is who can avoid using profanity the longest.
Oh, you just need a vocabulary for that.
I know, which is why it's fun. That's why I like this idea, quite honestly, because the avoiding the use of profanity is probably one of the most fun things about this trial. If you
So
have to
how
call someone a go ahead.
how are we defining profanity? Is this like
Uh,
Colin's 7 words you can't say bit?
yeah, the 7 words you can't say. What are the 7 words
Okay,
you can't?
fair.
Well, no, we're not gonna do that. You can't say the F bomb. S. We're gonna try. We're gonna do as long as we can. Now, I know that someone's gonna break at some point. I'm so sorry that someone broke their ankle. Oh my gosh, I hope that heals up quick. Get rehab. It's all the best things. Um,
You need to bring like Law Talk with Mike on and Kurt and you know some other people who will have a lot of trouble with that one.
the thing is, so many people have been covering this trial for so many hours that I sent a message out that the message that was usually a message of, hey, here's the Friday Night Frenzy link if you guys want to join. The message was basically, I know you've been streaming this trial for a long time. If you don't want to join, because I know you've been streaming for hours and talking for
Ages.
um yeah, feel free to opt out of this one. Plus, this one is a tough one to cover. Oh my gosh, I'm still trying to catch up. And the thing is, as I'm trying to catch up, the chat is just flying. So I don't know what to do. Stop sending chats. Actually, don't stop sending chats. Keep talking to each other. It's awesome. I love the chats that we get on this channel. So I've got a number of things. Watched Emily D. Baker and she almost lost it today. Yes, she did. I did too. My monitor is very thankful that I was sitting quite far away from it. I've got claim solve sit equal competency fail. That is an opinion that you and I share, my friend. Let's see. All right. So as I'm scrolling like crazy, trying to catch up, which is just apparently going to be a impossible feat at this point in time. Yeah, Natalie has the link, and I told her, take your time, walk through the stuff, talk about what you want to talk about, because I'll still be here. I know I'll still be here. Nick's chat. Oh, that's amazing. See, this is the thing about Ricada. This is one of the things I love about Ricada. Nick says spicy stuff. And he might not be your cup of tea. Good for you. He tells you openly, if you don't like it, please watch other people. But what you guys don't see behind the scenes is that he oftentimes does a lot of really good things. And like this, Nick's chat got the lady with the injured kids over her GoFundMe limit. And for those of you missing context there was a woman that was called to the stand by Darrell Brooks, under subpoena by Darrell Brooks, whose children were injured in the forgive me, the chat will forgive me, but I don't know that we got to any particular stage where it was confirmed or denied whether one of the children was a victim that lost their life. I felt that way when the testimony was going, but it was pretty freaking hard to watch. Like it was pretty freaking hard to watch. So if Nick did that, Nick, man, cheers to you, buddy. That and to Nick's chat, whoever did, for all those that contributed, that's a heck of a loss that mom went through. And the fact that she had to relive it in court in front of everybody is itself pretty terrible.
What was the limit? Like, how much was that? And I agree exactly with what you're saying. Like, Nick can be, he's not everyone's cup of tea. He can be abrasive, but he's one of these guys who, underneath it all, there's a genuinely good guy, like, who cares about this sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's fantastic every time I see him do these kinds of things, because I'm just like, oh my God, yes.
And here I'm going to call this super chat out of order just because I saw it in the moment. By mentioning the GoFundMe, it raised $26,000.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, there were a lot of victims in this particular incident, and a lot of them are being re-victimized by.
That's kind of the sad thing about our court process, is that as much as we don't want to re-victimize people, it happens, right? It's just a sad part of the process, is that people do end up suffering over that.
Yeah. And Ian, I'm going to call on you early in this, and I'm going to ask you to describe to the chat what you're building, because I need a moment, because I'm having not a technical difficulty, but lighting difficulty. So if you wouldn't mind, just what are you building in the shop for the moment?
I'm making a mask that I'm hoping I can bring on stream. Hopefully people won't give you too many spoilers, because I have posted some things about it on Twitter. But basically, this involves a bunch of leather work, and what I just finished doing, which is the sort of power tools section of things, is cutting some little acrylic lenses for it. So that I was using the Dremel for, because Dremels are fantastic. They're never the right tool for the job, but they're often the good enough tool for the job, if that makes sense. So I really like a Dremel for that reason, because there's so many things where you're just like, yeah, I can get this done with the Dremel, and otherwise I might have to go and, pick up some specialty tool or, whatever else. So I really like the Dremel for that reason. But yeah, no, I'm just kind of trying to get this done. Because Halloween is coming up, and I got no Halloween costume. But when I'm done with it, like after, I would have put it up and let somebody else bid for it for a Halloween costume. But unfortunately, by the time I'm done, I can't reliably say that I could ship it to somebody in time for them to have it. So what I'll probably do is wear it on Halloween and then put it up. And if somebody wants to bid on it for Extra Life, even though I like this thing, I think it's awesome. Then, so the Extra Life fundraiser is going to help sick kids at the Stollery Children's Hospital. So that, I think that's something I've been sort of pushing lately. So.
And thank you to my wonderful mods for pointing some stuff out here. I've got Cindy T. Thank you. A Law and Lumber member for 2 months, gifted 5 memberships. Then CMS gifted 20 more memberships. Thank you, guys. We can't see those on StreamYard, so I'm sorry. I wish I could pull them up and call them out and give them more of the attention they deserve, because they are very, very, very much appreciated. Okay.
That's kind of an important thing to see.
And some people are saying they have yet to see the EDB robot. Give me 1 second. I've got some new robots. Because
of course you do.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? I've got a Joe robot. And Joe has his vape pen.
Okay, there we go. Yep.
So there's a Joe robot.
That was wild when he had COVID and he's still sitting there vaping.
I've got a Rick robot.
Nice. Yeah, I was worried about him. He had COVID real bad.
I've got an Alita robot. I've got a David robot. And then behind you, I've got an EDB robot.
Is there a Runklebot in there? I thought there was.
There's a Runklebot back there. You know there's a Runklebot back there. There's the EDB.
Nice.
I have questions, is what that says. And we'll put her back in her jury box.
He has questions. He also has cursey words.
Yep. And we've got a Runkle robot.
Nice.
With the sword. So we've got robots for everybody, and that is thanks to Kristen, who makes those robots. It's pretty freaking fantastic. It's amazing to see all of those.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I need a bigger. Someone's saying I need a bigger jury box. I do. I made the jury box. It houses 8. I didn't expect the generosity, and for anyone who's first time member to the channel or first time watching the channel, I make things. So does Ian. Ian makes things out of leather primarily. I make things out of wood. I oftentimes use the phrase, go make something, you'll feel better, because it's a true thing. Oftentimes just getting into a shop or a crafty side of you, it allows you to express yourself in a way that you can't verbally. And for some of us with ADHD and me, I'm a domestic relations litigator, so I deal with a lot of nasty stuff during the week. So I like to have the opportunity of making something pretty, and it does makes you feel better. So
yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes
so when I
gotta find a way to get your headspace out of what you're dealing with, because some of the stuff we have to, deal with is ugly, like just straight up, no way around.
And it's probably one of the coolest parts of the people that follow the channel is everything you guys see in the background. All of the stuff that you guys see, those were all made by you guys out there, and you send them to me, and I try to put them up. In the background so you guys can see it. I need a Ricada at some point in time. I keep trying to add it. Like And Kristen, God bless her, she sent all these new robots, and it's amazing, and I love them. But it not to say it's addicting, but it kind of always makes you want more of the robots. So yeah. And oh look, we've got another person who's wearing a shirt.
I'm fully clothed.
I see it.
All right. I'm fully clothed.
Yeah, look, and the chat summoned you. Look, see, the chat summoned you, and you appear.
I was just over at Natalie. She's having a good time over there.
Good. Did you see the new addition to your robot?
I didn't know I had a robot, but I saw that is. Let me see. Does it look? Is it similar? See if we can get the right thing, the right tassel on the fez. It's fantastic. All right, there we go. There's.
I think where are we on the mic? On the mic scale, where are we? Are we in this mic scale? We're about there on the mic scale.
The robot's better looking. There's no two ways about it.
Is the mic scale measured in malorts?
Might be.
This is my solidarity with Wisconsin outfit tonight.
There's a lot of solidarity we need to have for Wisconsin, which is a state, which is an entity.
I tried to get you on. God bless you. There was a witness named Runkle, and then my chat just blew up with Runkle comments.
Wait, why didn't I catch that? There's a witness named Runkle?
There's a witness or somebody associated with the trial named Runkle. So everyone had, so then I'm like, I invite you, like, whatever, I get it. It doesn't matter. But I'm like, well, I got to invite Runkle now.
I've been sleeping in weird hours. So, like, I get invites, and I'm like, yeah, I was asleep. I feel bad.
Yeah, brother. It's all good.
Oh, yeah, no, I just always feel bad because it's like I would have liked to have been on.
That you didn't want to watch that trial today.
You really didn't, and we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through it. I got
sucked into that this week, and I mean, it's grueling. It's Deputy Heard all over again.
No,
I mean, just grueling hours all day.
Deputy Heard has way more charismatic people.
It is.
Like, I'm sorry, but if I had to choose, I would have dinner with, Amber Heard over Darrell Brooks.
You would not have dinner with Darrell Brooks, but I will tell you what you would have dinner with, and I guarantee it because I know you and I watched. You had to have dinner with every stinking witness from Waukesha, and I've never been there in my life. But I'm not making this up. They're your people, Ian.
Like absolute awesome people.
Yep. You would love it.
Yep.
And I kind of feel like I need to visit Waukesha at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
guess it's basically a Milwaukee suburb. I might even have this wrong, but whatever. It was nice people. And it's a tragic event.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell Mike about tonight's rule. Tonight's rule is that lighting stuff, man. This new camera thing. Ooh, that's better. We for this evening are going to try to avoid the seven words of shame, all the profanities. We're going to get creative.
Did I say one?
No, you haven't. And you're actually very good about that. I don't really have to warn you about that.
I'm generally, but I get out there. Yeah. I mean, but here's I am pretty good about that as a rule. However, not on your stream. And that's only because it's Friday night.
Correct. But tonight we're going to get creative in how we describe the events. I think it's fine too. Because the other thing was the number of people that responded after last week and last week's video. If you guys haven't caught it, it's pretty funny. I put a couple shorts out. Darrell Brooks was he had a goal, and it was to make Kurt's brain explode. And so Kurt would mute himself because I told him to calm down. And he muted himself and just started screaming into the screen, which was perfect. But also he embodied what every single one of us was thinking. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to watch the opening statement again. I know you guys have seen it. I had a different take on it. And I actually was texting quite a lot last night with Spidey, our favorite, the behavioral arts.
Yep.
And reviewing it. And he was telling me his opinion. And I said, I have a different take. And he said, well, tell me. And I was telling him what my take was, and he said, you are 100% right, which Spidey very rarely says 100% right. So I'm really happy about this. So I want to watch it again. And let's see what it is that Mr. Brooks does during all of this. We need to examine the grounds. We don't need to examine the grounds. There are no grounds for anything he does. Are me and Spidey going to do a stream on EDB? I don't know. We're going to do a video though. I know that. We're scheduled to record it. Let's see here. We're going to share and present. Share screen. We know what we're doing. Let me make sure I can do that. Share system audio. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
Oh, Kurt will appear. I have no doubts.
Kurt will appear. He always appears.
He always appears.
Here we go. All right.
That I'm attempting to locate are.
Nope. Rewind. We're not going to get there yet. Here we go. Yes, this is Law and Crime's channel. Law and Crime, this is commentary, this is fair use. This is within the definition of fair use because I'm looking at something that's real time and I'm commenting on it and giving assessments.
Law and Crime hasn't been bad lately, honestly.
No,
I'll call it straight.
Behave. They will. Mike's looking like a lumberjack. He is a very handsome lumberjack indeed.
I think they just said lumberjack.
I'm a lumberjack.
And that's okay.
Or he's a lumberjack, isn't it? He's a lumberjack and he's okay. He works all night. No, he sleeps all night and he works all day.
Come on. Let's fast forward. But I don't want to miss it.
Oh, I didn't get pizza. Oh, I had a pizza debate break out in my stream. Because I threatened to get Gino's East, which, by the way, is solid pizza.
And what was the debate?
Well, there's 1,000 good pizza places, so everyone had an opinion.
How many of them were good opinions?
All of them except for Mike's.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Look at him fiddling. This is context.
To the witnesses that I will be calling. I'm not sure what witnesses are here today.
Well, let's do this. I'd like you to at least do your opening statement, bring the jury and do that. I'll give you an opportunity to look again. I can have the state write down who's here. I believe it's based on what you told them. And then if there's still something you need at that point, I'd like to at least bring the jury out and start with your opening statement, okay?
Well, just so I'm clear, I didn't give a specific order in who I will be calling by
Buying time.
Order. I gave a generalization of.
Sure, I'll have the state. Sorry.
Does singing the Wonder Woman theme song break the rules?
Well, I don't want to have the state write down.
No, you can do that
here presently,
Okay.
and you can make that determination. But at least let's go with the opening statement. Okay?
That's what I was trying to get at. It would help to know who's actually here today.
Before you make your opening statement.
Well, so I know if they're not here, then essentially I can't call them.
Buying time.
Let's address that after. I'll have the state write down who they know to be here now or who's coming this afternoon, because there might have been people here this morning. I believe they're still here, but I'll let them write that down for you so you can better prepare. But at this point, I would like to bring the jury out for your opening statement. I presume you're going to give one.
I am.
Okay. Then I'll have the jury.
All right, stop for just a second. I just have to make this point. This is way beneath, he's so out there, he's nuts. But you could not project weakness more thoroughly than saying, which of my witnesses are here today? In other words, I have no goddamn idea what I'm doing with my case.
And you're gonna, and Mike, I'm so glad that you made that point because so many people viewed this opening statement in isolation. They didn't actually give some of that context to it. And I think that is one of the keys here. So let's see where he goes with it, because he keeps playing, but let's see where he takes it.
Dance. I will not be addressing that further. Your objection is noted, and I will be continuing with the trial.
Is it verified proof for the record?
Sir, I don't believe I need to do that, or that the state needs to do that as well. I believe your statement about that is a misstatement of the law, and I do not intend to pursue that further.
Can you show me lawful law that says that?
I gave you a written decision. I have done that.
Can you show me lawful law that verifies that?
Sir,
For the record,
I gave you a written decision. You
that I
can,
accepted for value in return for
and
that,
that's
because
how I'm going to answer that. So
it's
let's,
not verified proof. We still aren't.
I don't think he
sir,
lost it.
there
I
is
didn't
no
hear a curse
requirement in
word.
the law that the state or the court established that. So your
Actually, there
objections
is.
noted.
Actually, there is, Your Honor.
The damn.
The jurisdiction
Sir,
has to be
please.
proven for the record. Has to
Does
be
not.
proven. Has to be proven. You know that just as well as
Mr. Brooks,
you know that.
please do not make statements that mischaracterize the law
You know it has to be proven.
or that
for the
it
record.
is
That's all he does.
and the
Proven on the
proceedings
record.
here.
You know
The
it has
jury
to be
is
proven.
advised to disregard the statements that Mr. Brooks is making regarding subject matter jurisdiction. They are not
This
evidence.
verminous little pustule.
Not presented as evidence. Just has yet to be proven for the record.
The jury will disregard the incorrect statements of the law that Mr. Brooks is stating.
There's lawful law that is incorrect.
Mr. Brooks, please. I am going to read one instruction. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. The defendant will now make an opening statement. The purpose of an opening statement is to give the defendant an opportunity to tell you what he expects the evidence will
Mike
show,
gets a
so that
second
you will better
chance.
understand the evidence
Even
as
if he
it's
cursed, he gets a
introduced
second
during
chance.
the trial. I must caution you, however, that the opening statements are not evidence. With that, go ahead, sir.
Nor are they correct statements of the law.
I don't have any rehearsed or well prepared speech, so I'm just going to speak from the heart.
No, why would you not have a rehearsed speech?
Wait. Stop.
I want to bring to remembrance something I think everyone in this room has been taught pretty much as far back as we can remember, is that there's always two sides to every story.
Panic and recall. So he goes to emotional accessing and he looks up and he goes to emotional accessing. He stops, he freezes, he looks directly at the judge. He tries to break out of that. He's buying time the entire time prior to going into this opening statement. And he first makes eye contact with the jury. So the mask coming off, when he takes the mask off, he is expecting an emotional impact from the jury because he is expecting the jury is going to view it as emotionally as he is. He is unmasking himself. So he's fighting with the judge and he looks over at the jury for the first time. He looks back and he looks up to try and access some emotion.
And for so long now, roughly a year, there's only truly been one side told of this story. And I've sat back and watched from countless narratives that's been put out there, the way this incident has been portrayed at times. And finally, everyone getting a chance to get the full story.
Comment about his posture. His posture is parade rest. That is actually a comforting posture. You actually can maintain a posture like that for long periods of time, but it's also one that gives you a bearing. Like I've made the allusion to grounding, where attorneys grab the podium. When you can't grab the podium, you need something to anchor you. So anchoring yourself with this pose, with the arms behind the back, is a form of anchoring. He's trying to provide a base for himself to speak from.
But never do this if you are the accused, because it looks like
Correct.
you're wearing handcuffs.
Argue facts.
Yep.
The fact is, this incident was tragic, very tragic. That's not lost on me. Facts.
That part. Look at the eyes. When he says that's not lost, I want you to look at the eyes again.
Back and watch from countless narratives
Okay.
that have been put out there.
You're reading up on this stuff, Rob.
The way this incident has been portrayed at times.
Look at the flash.
And finally, everyone getting a chance to get the full story. You won't hear me try to argue facts. The fact is, this incident was tragic, very tragic. That's not lost on me.
They're not lost. You
Facts
see the
are
eyes
that
go up.
There's still a lot of people healing, a lot of families healing, both sides.
Both
That was an
sides.
appeal. That was an emotional appeal. When he made eye contact and looked, there was emotional appeal, and there was also a bit of resentment in there as well. Like you see it for a flash.
Mhm.
He squints, his left cheek goes up further than what his baseline is. He speaks out of the left side of his mouth, period. but his left cheek goes up even further than it was. There was resentment there on the both sides. Feels like he has been not heard. And the chat is recognizing there's eye blocking. You are right. The eye blocking and
I don't know what eye blocking is.
Eye blocking is where you divert your eyes so they can't see what your eyes are doing.
Ah.
And he does it a lot. But for him, I think it's more baseline. He does this a lot because he doesn't actually like to speak truthfully. He dodges the eyes unless he actually makes eye contact directly and holds a stare, which he did today, which was rather scary. You'll see that one. We're going to get to it at some point.
I'm more familiar with cock blocking.
Yeah, and there you go. See, that was now you did 2 cursey words. Now you got to take another shot.
That's not a curse word.
I think the C blocking is a.
I was referring to.
See, I'm gonna get you tonight.
For the first one. I put into the swear jar for the first one. You'll see in the super chats.
Good. But the eye blocking is where he diverts his eyes from the jury so they can't see what his eyes are doing. It's a defense mechanism to look down like that. He's not accessing. He's looking down. He's trying to compose him.
I don't know. I don't put a whole lot of weight into most behavioral analysis because a ton of this stuff ends up being cultural.
That's fine. This is trial analysis. This is also just putting someone on the stand and seeing what they're doing. That's the thing. A lot of this isn't so much behavioral. It's watching how you would strategize from a trial perspective. And when we listen to him, and I have a point to make on it because we're going to get there, and I think it's going to resonate.
And when I'm confident that the evidence will show, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional.
No, you're right.
Announcing the emotion. Big thing there. When you announce the emotion.
And also in this, it's all over your chat too, and mine.
Is the point that this guy's a dingus? Because I would agree with that.
The intentional. That was a sincere look, by the way. Intentional was not fake. That was sincere. It was not intentional.
All over your chat and all over mine. Right here is a tacit, or as he likes to call it, a tacket admission of guilt. Right here. How else do you square this?
That's why he used the word intentional. If you do both the behavioral analysis, the litigation analysis, and the speech analysis, all of it combines. And when you view all of it in that setting, you actually get an understanding of what he's trying to prove.
It's never even thought about. It's easy to I'm sorry. Give me a second.
This is the island. This is not an emotion of sadness. This is an emotion of panic. He's on the island. Every single step prior to this moment, he's had somebody providing a backstop, a defense. The backstop has been either a prosecutor that was objecting or fighting with him.
Can we vote this guy off the island?
No, he's on an island by himself. He's on an island by himself, and he'll be there for quite some time.
I'd like to vote him off this island.
He'll be off the island and be on a smaller island in the middle of the Pacific. Panic. That's not raw emotion. That's panic. He's trying to slow his heart down.
I think it's easy to look at the magnitude of something like this and form opinions. I think it's easy to disregard a lot of factors.
I want you to focus on every time he starts getting more emotional. Look what happens. He's looking at the jury and he becomes more emotional. Not when he's looking at him, but when he comes back. He looks at him, comes back, gets more emotional. They're not connecting. He's trying to connect, but they're not connecting.
I also have the feeling that he's never done this before, right? And everybody, when you're sitting and sort of imagining yourself doing like one of these speeches, everybody imagines that they're going to deliver the speech of a lifetime. And they don't realize that the speech of a lifetime is something that you spend hours working on in front of a mirror and, in front of friends who can go, no, that part sucked. You need to take that out. I sort of read this as this guy came in and he thought he was going to be the eloquent orator, and he's now run face first into the fact that this is hard. And now he's like, oh, shoot.
And I want you to think, yep. Mike,
I'm not as brilliant as I thought I was.
The same concept is it's much easier to manipulate one person, especially somebody emotionally involved, like a girlfriend, for instance. But 12 strangers is a different get altogether. And he's manipulated people one-on-one which is more comfortable to him. But this is not flying. And all I'm doing is basically agreeing with you here, Ian.
And think back to what he was doing before starting his opening. Like, he realized going into it, when he's putzing with the papers and reading through the books and trying to organize himself, he knows he's about to step out onto that island. And it's making him panic, and he's going, okay, I can do this. But this is not something you practice. Any attorney knows when you step out in front of that podium and you go out in front of in the well and you start talking, you are alone. There is nothing there with you. You are alone with your own words, and everyone is looking at you. And any doubt you had about yourself is exemplified and amplified by a million. It is crazy. And what he is doing right here, what you're looking at, this is true. This is a very true emotion of sadness. Everything about the eyebrows, the cheek, everything about it. This is true sadness, but it's not sadness. It's not sadness for what he did. It's not sadness. It's not even sadness for himself. It's sadness that he's realizing as he keeps looking to the jury. Look at all the looks of the jury and back. He's realizing he's not connecting. He's realizing that what he thought was going to be his big crescendo, his big statement of, look, there's another person here, there's another story, is not resonating.
I think in reference to what I stated earlier,
and that's why on that statement, you see, in every other statement, he looked back at the jury for that. Did you see him block himself? He didn't even look back at the jury. He stopped his face from looking back at the jury.
Well, and the sad thing is that the line he's using is not a bad line. Like, this is something that this whole strategy of argument, that you've heard one side of the story, that sort of narrative. This is something that shows up in the opening statements of really good defense lawyers. But
correct.
Just kind of, I feel like he is sort of aping this, and he doesn't realize just how much work they put into it. He's just like, oh yeah, because when you're making an address to the jury, when it's good, you've practiced it for hours, but you don't look like you've practiced it for hours. You don't want it to feel like you're just reading a speech. You want it to feel like it's an impassioned thing. And he's realized, I think he's just having this moment of regret right now. It's like, oh, I really, I didn't prep for this, he says at the outset. And now he's sort of like, maybe I ought to have.
Do you know how much practice it takes to deliver the impactful speech without actually overcoming or being overcome by the emotion of the situation you're in?
No, because I've never done it.
No, I remember my first trial, and I remember getting up there and trying to deliver my closing argument, and I cried, but it wasn't. I believe my client. I believe the story, but it was so hard to maintain that composure because all of a sudden you were alone, and you had thought this through in your head, and it sounded great, but you hadn't done it enough. You don't know what you're doing, so it just comes across as, well, it comes across as what we saw. So this, and I'm going to get to this in a minute. People are saying it's heartbreaking. Yeah, there's a part of this that was very hard for me to watch.
It's easy to forget the other side of the coin.
See, he not with that one. He glanced at the jury's side eye. No more full eye contact.
There's been a lot of suffering involved in this incident. A lot.
Still quicker side eye.
Obviously, with the families.
Now he's not even making eye contact.
Well, it's hard to make eye contact with an audience that is just not into it, right? And that's another skill, right? You know, you might have a judge who's like, I don't buy your argument. He's still got to keep delivering. And he doesn't have that skill set.
He is struggling with it.
With the community. And even the alleged defendant's family as well. There's been a lot of suffering.
The alleged defendant, he threw that one in there.
Like
That drove me
misunderstanding.
nuts.
And I just want you to keep in mind everything that will be presented in its totality. Keep in mind.
He is no longer making eye contact with the jury.
This is also another place where you really need a lawyer, because there's certain arguments a lawyer can make and they can be persuasive. You just can't do them on your own. And one of them here is where he's saying the impact on the defendant has been great. I mean, you can say that as a lawyer. You can say, hey, you know, my client is as horrified as everyone else here. You know, it's been a great impact on him because not only is he horrified by these events, but it is, you know, all the more horrific to have been wrongfully accused of having done these things, right? You can't do that when you're self-repping. You can't go in and be like, hey, this sucks for me, because the emotional impact of, you know, having a different person explaining it is very different. It just comes off as whining when you do it, and it
Absolutely.
really turns the jury off.
Well, and here's the other thing. I saw this after I was talking with Spidey. This is Chanley, and she was in the courtroom. And while she's watching this, she says, during the accused mass murder's opening statement, jurors were stoic, no empathetic expressions or friendly looks, all attentive, but no notes were taken, which gives context for everything that we're seeing in this narrative. He's looking, but not getting anything, which is why he stops making eye contact. It's why he stops looking. He is feeling more and more isolated, and every bit of a loneliness and sadness about himself and about a situation that he felt beforehand is being exacerbated. Now you have the raw emotion that's just coming, and he can't stop it because the people he thought he was going to win over aren't showing it back.
The power that you have. I believe that should escape your knowledge.
Okay, I'm in charge now.
This has been a long process for everybody.
No deal. Rob would never forgive me if I let you run the show.
Oh damn! I got Runka watching the situation.
It's
A
funny
voice of
because
reason from the north.
some of these arguments can work. It's just
You can't make them yourself, just like you said.
you can't make them yourself, and they're these disjointed fragments of a notion. Like, you have been granted as jurors a sacred power to right an injustice. You need to listen to this, you know, to the evidence in this case and determine for yourselves, not based on media inquiries, what has truly taken place here. Because it is not what you've heard. It is not, you know, we will present to you the real, you know, story. Like all of this has, and I'm just like winging this completely off the cuff.
About the alleged.
It's almost
Well,
as
I mean-
if he'd be better off with Ian representing him.
He would.
I kind of feel like he would. Although I gotta say, I feel like he would be really miserable to have as a client.
Where's like mustard?
That hurt him. That was real. When he said that out loud.
Oh, because it's true. He's
Well,
a
here's
monster,
the thing.
and he knows it.
Here's the thing.
I know a lot of the time I've been before you see me with this mask on.
The mask comes off. It didn't work.
I've had my reasons for that. But I feel now is the time to, it's important that you see me.
Here's one of the parts about the mask where I think Ian makes a bigger point than we're giving credit to Mr. Brooks for. The mask itself was his attempt to mask him as a person and portray him as an attorney. He was the advocate with the mask on. With the mask off, he's himself. Problem is, it doesn't work. It doesn't.
I didn't
work
think of that.
way.
It's
I just
deep.
thought he wanted to cover for the identity issues.
No, it's not the identity issues. It's with the mask on, he's not a person. With the mask off, he's a person. You're supposed to see him that way. Here's the thing about all of this. When I was watching this, I remembered a certain part of the investigation and the interview clips that they played. And it was when they finally got him. And they finally got him to admit that they had the information. He said, y'all trying to kill me, y'all trying to kill me, y'all trying to kill me. Over and over again. You lied to me, try to kill me. Yes, he's worried about himself. But prior to that, in the interview, he kept talking about the girl and how crazy the girl was and how crazy the girlfriend was and all the above. And there's a very irrational, rational way of looking at this. If you go into his state of mind, if you try to, for a second, cringe at the thought, but if you try to put yourself in his state of mind, all of this had to do with the girlfriend and the fight. Everything about had to do with the fight. And there's no bigger proof to that than who he calls as a witness next and who he has called as witnesses since. This for him goes back to the emotional impact of that fight with the girlfriend and how he couldn't get through to the girlfriend. And people are saying narcissistic behavior. I'm not going to diagnose, but it tracks with a lot of domestic situations I've seen. You get into a domestic dispute, and the domestic dispute is so emotionally enraging in that moment that the person loses control of their logical faculties. And they go and do things that are completely illogical and completely crazy. What he is trying to explain to the jury is that there's another side to this. The other side of this is that I was provoked. I was pushed to this. Now that side is complete.
That side is a losing
horse,
argument.
It's complete horse doo-doo, horse poop.
Well, it also is. I mean, it's just the argument that sends you directly to jail.
Correct, it does, but he
You're
doesn't
not
realize
back,
that.
you're not collect $200. Just
He
jail.
cannot comprehend that. He cannot comprehend that what he did in this emotional state is still a conscious act. That's
Well,
the problem.
I think he also, a lot of these guys sort of have a very displaced sense of guilt. And so they basically, you'll hear this from domestic abusers all the time. Because I mean, I do criminal defense. Some of the people I represent are not nice people. And so, but one of the sort of interesting things about that is you get to hear how they think on their own when they're just talking to their lawyer and there's, you know, it's sort of a safe place. And so many of them like have no sense of that they are ever responsible for anything. And I think if he thought he could make the argument, I think he'd be sitting there going, she should be the one on trial here. because, you know, she made me so mad that this happened. And, you know, why am I the one being held responsible? You know, isn't it her fault? I think that's the argument he'd love to make here. And
he tries to make it, Ian. And you're jumping the gun, because I know that you saw some of the stuff from today on Natalie's channel. I know that Mike watched all of it with the facial expression of a defeated person, like the facial expression that we all had. Someone clipped it and threw it on Twitter.
I sure did.
Oh,
I got sucked into this by my chat and a few other people. You know why? Because he pulled this sovereign citizen crap, which he just developed in prison, in jail, or whatever.
He talked to somebody in jail who basically was like, "No, man, here's the argument." And here's the thing: there's lots of guys in jail who are these sort of like prison lawyers. But you got to think, like, if this guy was really good and really had the secret sauce to never go and face punishment, why is he sitting next to you in the jail cell? You know,
that
it's
is
like,
a good question.
I have to ask clients this one all the time. Like, if this guy is so good at this and so smart, because a lot of these guys are super charismatic and they win over these, you know, unfortunately, maybe not so sophisticated people. And it's like, why is he in there with you? I'm not in there, you know. Like, yeah.
And this comment right here. This comment right here.
Ian's not in there with you, and he does some dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But apparently, he's not incarcerated over it. So maybe you listen to Ian instead.
And this comment right here, Jay Carr. One, I'm very sorry that you went through any of that. But two, I'm glad that you can identify this, because it's a lived experience that you only have to live once. And I've seen it from the domestic side. As a survivor, I know this man. It's never their fault. If Erica had not made me angry, none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
You are 100.
Exactly yeah.
That's his argument. And there is no better proof than who he calls as his next witness.
And I see somebody saying he's in solitary, so who knows who's passing the info? People can like shout to each other in solitary. People can pass messages.
I stopped a police officer at a barricade and I let him know that a woman.
So we're not going to go through his testimony, this guy's testimony, but the entire crux of this examination,
although he's excellent,
he was excellent. He was great. Straight to the point, answered the questions, wasn't too combative, but was just the right amount of spice. He was perfect. But the crux of Darrell Brooks's argument with this guy is that there was this fight, and the fight escalated, and that essentially Darrell Brooks was trying to say that there was an argument, there was something that was peaceful that became an argument, and he fled. He didn't have to flee. He fled because the cops were called on him. He was forced into that position of fleeing.
So he had to flee.
That was his logic. That's his logic. That's how he sees the world. He sees the world in this scope. So he had to flee because the argument occurred. The argument got heated. She wasn't listening to what he was saying. He had to flee, and he fled. And his argument, you know, the mask thing with the mask on, here's what the argument is. With the mask on, the argument is you can't identify me as being the driver, and that I am not the driver, and there's another person possibly in the car. That's with the mask on. With the mask off, the argument is I was reacting emotionally and ended up in a parade of individuals when I was fleeing a situation I never should have had to flee, and therefore the people in front of me were just obstacles that I was trying to get around, but it's okay because I was emotionally charged in the moment.
Yes,
that is his argument.
His schizophrenic arguing the alternative poorly stance. Yes,
right. Pretty good summation.
Absolutely.
I think it is, and that's why he calls this guy, because he wants to now get the jury to understand.
He calls this guy because he can't believe that this particular woman moved on and found somebody else, and they have a thing going on, which she really didn't. But that's okay. I won't get there.
Yeah. His argument was it was nonsense to begin with, and it was nonsense at the end. And there was no part of it that was founded in anything logical or legal, but it was emotionally based. This is a person who is not thinking with any logical part of his brain. It is 100% emotion.
Yes.
Everything about it.
That guy
He
sees it.
can, he can
And
sway
here's
it.
the sick truth, though. There's a grain of truth to what he's saying. It's wrong, and everything he did was horrible. All that. But he still has more control over him than the new guy. Her than the new guy. It's uncomfortable, but it's true. The new guy said, "Don't meet him, don't meet him, don't meet him," and she still wanted to.
Yep.
I'm not knocking her for it. She was a victim. They met when she was 14. The whole thing's despicable, but that's where we're at. That's the cold hard reality of it.
Yep. Lonnie Wolf, how can this be real if he's trying so hard to act a certain way, though? Because there's two realities. He knows that on a practical level, he has to try and defeat the state's argument, the mask on argument. He has to come at them with the facts because he's been taught in jail, etc. So he comes at that. But what I want you to think about is look back to those interview tapes. That's the emotional person. He's trying to say, well, what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? Talking about the girl over and over again. And then when they finally have him, the only thought he has is y'all trying to kill me. Like,
okay.
It goes
so I'm going to knock you off course, Rob. I agree with everything you're saying. But where does the sovereign citizen thing come in? Because I think that's a distinct third here. Because he keeps saying, the state of Wisconsin hasn't been called. Have you made a claim? All this sovereign citizen bullshit. But he doesn't believe any of that, or he wouldn't be in this mask on, mask off dichotomy. You know what I'm saying?
He was made to believe it because it fuels his own internal self-preservation. Like, you have to think about how he's thinking in his head. In his head, his logic is my narrative is going to sway people. I'm right because I was emotionally triggered to do this. Well, then he gets lawyers that said that's not true. And then someone else sells him on this. You are a sovereign citizen, and because you're a sovereign citizen, they can't try you for it. And he's like, okay, well, I know in my heart that I shouldn't be going away to jail forever for this because I'm not the true victim. Who's victimizing me now? The state.
Yeah. It fills that need of his to be not responsible, because it's like, if the state is engaged in some sort of bad action by prosecuting him, then ultimately he's not the bad guy in this story. Like, he
Correct.
desperately wants to not be the bad guy in this story. And unfortunately for him, he is also 150% the bad guy in this story. So,
yep, but he cannot emotionally come to grips with that. This is emotion.
But there really are three. You're right. There really are three tacks. The sovereign citizen's an add-on at the end. It's an add-on at the end. But the other two is I'm gonna say I didn't do it. I'm gonna say you can't identify me, which they can. Then he's going to say, but if you can't identify me, I'm justified. Those are the prime two. While
and
he's
the
sitting
justified is never going to sell.
Why he's sitting in the clink, he's got some mope saying, hey, you can try the sovereign citizen BS as well.
Yep.
And he's like, well, that feeds into my whole theory on both levels. Let's try it.
And I don't think Mike is saying justified. I think Mike is thinking he should be forgiven. It's not justification he's seeking. It's forgiveness. It's that there's this argument that he was not acting in a logical state, or he didn't know what he was doing.
That's how the cops got him to talk.
Correct.
His ideal situation here, like in terms of his ideal outcome, would be everybody realizes that his girl did him wrong.
Right.
And that what he did is totally understandable. And really, why isn't she here on trial? Like, like that's where he wishes this could get to. And he doesn't realize that there is a wall of fire and a flaming sword and a dragon and a moat and all these things in between him and that place he wants to be, and he's never getting there.
And the investigator led him down that path. The investigator knew it from years of experience and led with, chicks are crazy, which frankly they are, but not in the sense, but he's just saying it as common ground.
He was baiting him.
He was
The entire
baiting him.
time.
But right. But like, it doesn't justify any of your actions. But like, I'll say it to you. We'll have enough common ground that you'll sing like a bird, and it worked.
It was one of the best, it was one of the best interrogations I've ever seen on video. It was honestly so good.
People get upset because interrogators sometimes say some really offensive stuff. And if you want to see interrogators say some really offensive stuff, when you see them doing these same kinds of interrogations on things like child essay, you'll see them say things like, well, I mean, between the two of us, you know, she's really putting it out there, right? And that horrifies the public. You know, cop said what? It's like, it's not because the cop believes it. It's because the cop knows that this guy is so far up his own, you know, that he'll start talking. So,
and this brings me to these 2 points I want to make before I start, because we have to cycle back and hit some of these super chats. Otherwise, I'm going to be here until 2 a.m. Gloria makes
me and my extensive super chats. I'm going to have to stay up late, and I'll be tired at Nerdfest. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm sorry.
Be nice, Mike.
Speaking of which, Mike, when are you coming on Nerdfest?
Speaking. There he goes. Bye. It's the only way to get Mike to stop talking. He's start talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Worst guess ever.
Is the power tool, the little drill I'm operating here, too loud, or should I mute?
You're good. Gloria makes this comment about how, what about intent? He didn't have the intent to kill. Yeah, you're right. And then that channels and funnels into this. Super chat, I'm going to pull this out of order. I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to do those. Down in Nori, DB's fourth argument is that he honked and waved, but those people didn't get out of the way, so it's their fault. That goes in line with this one. They are the same. They are the same. He is acting emotionally because he cannot perceive the logic. In this moment, he is thinking he is compelled to do this thing because he has been forced by this previous emotional stimulus that has set him down this path that he cannot avoid. And while he is on this path he cannot avoid, he's going to do everything he can to save other people, even though doing those things is nothing of what he should be doing in that moment. He shouldn't be down that. He should stop the damn car like this, like the honked and waved. That feeds directly into that logic. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah, maybe
we have another,
hit the brakes. That's a feature that, might have been useful.
They do exist. And I'm going to add someone else to the stream who's watched this trial from minute one, who's looking, my word, is she looking fabulous this evening. Natalie, how are you doing, my dear?
Oh, I'm exhausted. Hey guys, how are you doing? Nice to see you all again. Long time no see.
It's been a minute, although right now I'm on audio only because I am operating power tools.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please don't try to be looking at the camera. Listen,
and I'm in timeout.
Okay. I just want to come in and say real quick, I told everybody to come over here. This is the stream to be. I see Kurt asking if he should push his stream back, but it needs to be a lawyer chicklet raid up in here. People were redirected here. So, Kurt, I can't tell you what to do, but push your stream back. That way we can all flow together,
Yeah, Kurt, if you push to 11:15, I will try to land this as hard as I can at that time. It is, I will try.
So I am going to go lay in bed now and watch your stream, and then I'll be watching Kurt's stream. I'm going to go lay down though, because I am so tired, but gosh dang, what a day.
Can I, before you lay down, Natalie, I want to say I'm so very, very, very impressed with Mike and Natalie and everyone else who has done amazing coverage of this trial. The takes that have been given, the fact that you have real-time analysis from Mike, Natalie, Nick on Rumble, Emily, you guys, this is the way these trials need to be run.
LawTube's on it.
Sunlight.
Yeah. The best disinfectant. It really is. So I wish more states would move towards televising their trials. We learned so much from it.
And Canada televises none of our trials, which is obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really want to see what you guys
We'll drag you Canucks over the line. Don't worry.
All right, Natalie, get rest.
All right. Bye, guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. All right, I'm going to start catching up on some super chats. You guys are free to drop out. I'm going to go through some of today's. I'm going to try to speed through some of it. Jojo6178, South Carolina Jack and Coke, fantastic beverage of choice. Nicholas Stero, Unionist Labor Law. Santa, warmed up with whiskey and death metal. Hopefully I'm prepared, unrelated. Where can I donate to Shooting at Moving Targets 101 for cops? This cop did a pretty good idea. He did pretty good. As I recall, and even Runkle made a comment on it. He paused. He didn't pull the
best thing he
trigger.
did was the not shooting parts. Because the
Yep.
thing is I do a lot of shooting in, some of the competitions I shoot at are fairly difficult. I will tell you, hitting a moving target while you also, like, if I was being a real jackass and setting up, I'm sorry, I'm just in the cursey thing, although it wasn't for Brooks, you get targets that move. And if you had a target that moved and had is the background a bunch of no-shoot targets where you get penalized if you hit them, that would be a brutal stage. And like, that's what he was dealing with. The smart move on his part was not taking a lot of those shots. But I mean, you got to weigh it. It's tough, right? Because you don't know what this guy's going to do or if he's going to keep going. So it's difficult. But I actually give the cop serious props for. It's really easy to forget the rest of the world exists, and that to just sort of to get real like attentional blindness where you can't see, like literally cannot see anything else other than the target, and the officer didn't do that, and I give him serious props for that.
Correct. Chrissy Lee, Massachusetts, with red wine and a new bank card. Chrissy, I'm glad you have that new bank card. Spend it on more red wine. Spend it less on me, please. Thank you very much for that super chat, though. I loved talking with you earlier this week. Fope 444 here from the Lawyer You Know channel. Love Peter. Highly recommend your channel. I highly recommend his and Ian's and Mike's. We all have different skill sets here, and we all like to hang out with each other all the time when we can. Techno Bell, hi from Nodak. Hello. Donna Parker, super sticker. Thank you very much. Jonathan Beadle, I think Darrell Brooks is giving great prosecution case. I think he's going to get 100% conviction. The question is how much time it will take. Techno Bell, drinking Bush Light here, the energy drink of the South. I love it. Ryan 432, Ian is going to take the #1 spot for yard Halloween decorations with Vlad tips this year. I don't know what that is, but sure. Nissy Hauer, hey Rob, don't forget about the video I sent you. I pulled it up. It is a little bit longer than I thought I could manage. We lost Mike because Mike is probably dead asleep. Because to be honest, he was streaming all day long. I don't know how he did it. You guys, the chat, convinced him to do it. I did pull it up. I'll see if we get late enough. I will do it. Chris Palfy, that is my brother-in-law, Cross Junction, Virginia. Thank you, buddy. Glad to see you here this evening. Veronica Paterdi, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil at 21:15 and a lot of coffee so I can sleep. That is an ADHD thing. Thank you for that, because people don't know that ADHD and caffeine mix together like sleeping pills and a normal person. It's fantastic how it slows the brain down.
Yeah, it weirds people out when sometimes I'm like, I need to have a cola so I can sleep. They're like, what?
Yep.
I've had some moments where let's like chug an energy drink and then go nap, and people are like, "What the heck?"
Yep.
So,
Katri, I turned 34 today. The day has been full of love, and I adore my new fluffy unicorn. I was surprised with Friday Night Frenzy is the perfect ending to this day. Thank you, Katri, for being here. That is amazing for that. Andy's mom, Sammy, embroidering. You and Ian have been inspiring me to get back into being creative. It's been a great distraction from both life and the trial this week. Yes, yes, and all of the yes.
Absolutely. The thing is, having good hobbies that, and I'm sort of mumbling because I'm occasionally stuffing a needle into my mouth here. Not the injection kind, the sewing kind, just for, but what is it? Is so useful when you've got a world that is kind of a dark and miserable place. And the other thing I always that I sort of say is another thing that is surprisingly helpful is doing things for other people. So right now I'm doing the whole extra life thing, and I gotta say, sometimes when the world is crap, like when I just split my bloody acrylic vise or thing here, doing something for someone else is like, okay, this is helpful. I'm not going to replace this. I'm just going to go with it.
Go with it, buddy. All right, we're gonna get through the last of the cocktail ones. I'm gonna play today's stuff today.
I'll fix it if I
thank you.
sell it, but for me, I'll just leave it.
5 bags of popcorn says T in Manhattan cough, objection overruled, objection grounds. Jonathan Beatty, Huckleberry wine, Montana, wonderful state, great time of year. Yeah, Stuart, Tamanaha, apple juice in Hawaii. Thank you for joining. Darrell Brooks' trial was very hard to watch today. It was indeed. Vivi Poo, thank you for the super chat. Amy T, it was a great week, but this trial with Brooks has been a wild train wreck and you can't stop watching. Let's go ahead and talk about the train wreck we can't stop watching, because it's a train wreck we can't stop watching. Because every time you think that things were crazier the day before, they somehow get worse the next day. Today, this trial went to a place I never thought actually possible.
Come on, man. You gotta have faith in just how crazy this can get.
And when I did that, I forgot to share audio. So now I got to share it again. Share screen and share audio. Sharing, and then make sure the volume is maxed. Good. Now let's go and see how crazy we get today.
I also think a smart move on his part was shaving his or cutting his hair and getting rid of the beard.
It was brilliant.
Yep, look like a different person if ID is your argument.
All right, good morning, everyone. The court will call State of Wisconsin versus Darrell Brooks, case number 21 CF 1848. May I have the appearances, please?
Good morning, Judge Sue Walker, Leslie Basie, and Zach Witchow appearing for the State of Wisconsin.
Good morning, sir. Please state your name for the record.
Just 1 second. Make sure I have everything since it's kind of late today. I'm here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value and return for value all of the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for the discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in the charging instruments and do not consent to being called that name for the record.
All right, thank you. That is noted. The record will also reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is present in person in custody. He is wearing street clothes, specifically a suit and tie and a mask as well.
You don't consent to being called that name.
I understand, sir. All right, I do want to put on the record I gave the parties this morning. It's an excerpt from the Judicial Bench Book on opening statements. It's about a page and a half.
Oh, no.
I thought it would be helpful to provide.
No,
to
that's the opening
Mr. Brooks
statement
as he
one. Why did I
puts
go
together.
back to that one? That's not the one I wanted. I wanted the one from today. Why is that not behaving? All right, we're going to pull up the actual stream.
Also, you'd be proud of me. I'm wearing my safety glasses when I'm doing power tools.
Oh, that is actually making me feel a lot better, because I know that sometimes even when I'm in the shop, I don't put them all the time. I didn't say that out loud. I put them on all the time, every time I'm in the shop.
Well, the other thing I'm going to recommend, this was a bit of a game changer for me, prescription safety glasses.
Oh, not a bad idea.
Call your
I
next
got
witness.
that. They really are a lot better.
Public serving, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks.
Do I not have your oath of office?
Under 906.11, this court has the authority, as you know.
Do I not have,
Call.
is this not a copy, or I asked for certified copies that you said on record?
Can y'all hear
would
that?
Not provide for no good reason. That these are three
Sir,
of your
you are
oaths.
doing this,
right
and I've
here.
repeatedly told you, you can see the jury's here.
You're
You're doing this.
Listen,
We need to go
I'm
forward.
not attempting to delay the proceedings. I'm not attempting to be disruptive. I'm merely trying to.
His version of not attempting to delay the proceedings is to hold the judge's oath of office up to her face and say, these are your oaths of office. That's not attempting to delay the proceedings.
Well, this is a really common soft sit tactic where they say if you can't present your oath, then you are not a judge, and therefore the court lacks jurisdiction. It's a really common piece of bullshit that gets pulled, but that's what he's trying to do.
Yep.
Notify Your Honor in the court for the record beforehand. That way, everyone's at least on notice of the issues that need to be taken up instead of waiting until a break or a lunch and things of that nature, which
In
kills
my
valuable.
this moment,
Is this not your
and
oath?
I'm not going to ask.
This is not
Did you
your
not
oath.
swear as a public servant that you would protect the
Mr.
United
Brooks,
States Constitution?
Call
Did you not do that?
your
3
witness.
times. I have all of it here. Your oath, Your Honor.
Side note, this is also panic. He's not ready to go forward. He doesn't want to go forward. He's scared of going forward. So he's trying to delay by doing this other crap. He's scared of what it actually means to call a witness. He doesn't know. And when he actually gets the question of which witness do you have, we're calling a witness, he fights harder and harder and harder because he doesn't know what to do. He's panicking. One of the things that I have shared that has been hard to explain, and I think Ian is probably, I'm glad that Ian's here with me while I'm talking about this, because one of the things that's hard to explain about this is quite literally, this is hard to watch. Like, it's really hard to watch, not just because of the things he's doing. It's hard to watch because it's impossible not to have a certain amount of just you don't like to see someone face a challenge that his self-destruction is in his own hands. It doesn't make it easier to watch. Like, he has been given every tool to either try to preserve the life he has left or to cast it asunder into a flaming pit. And when you watch someone who has those tools being given to them and you watch them go through this,
He's choosing flaming pit every time.
he is, but he thinks he's not. It's like watching, imagine like you're watching, like, now here's the thing. Imagine you're watching your child do something dangerously. Now it's a very bad analogy, but I'm going to go through it anyways. Imagine watching your kid do something remarkably dangerously and you know they're going to fall and you know they're going to hurt themselves. And it is every resistance you have to hold you back from jumping in and saving them because you know that there's a lesson there. Does it make it easier to watch? Like, you have a friend and you watch that friend go through something, a divorce, a loss of custody, a loss of a parent, and you try to give them advice and you try to coach them through because you know better, you've been there, you've seen the situation. Does it make it any easier to watch when they say no, knowing in your heart and in your head that they need to do this themselves? Does it make it any easier to watch someone go through that? This has been really
a
hard.
law student I was mentoring, and I could tell right off the hop that basically her husband, or not husband, but the guy she was with and had been for a long time, was never going to let her succeed and was going to do everything to drag her down and so forth. And the thing is, you can't tell her that, because if you come up and just say that, then she's just going to push back and is never going to listen. And what do you call it? So instead, it's a matter of build her up to the place where she is in a position where she's got those resources. And at that point, she's like, oh shit, I'm in a bad situation and I can get out now. And so that happened. But, you know, it's tough when you're sitting there just kind of biting your tongue because you know that if you do anything, it's going to make things worse. And I mean, this guy, I don't like him. I don't like this guy. I don't have any, you know, but you still don't want to see what's happening happen. You want to see everybody, even the most dislikable, contemptible sack of garbage, get a fair, you know, get a trial where they're presenting their best case. And it's sad to see this guy just tanking himself.
Yeah, it's really, it's heartbreaking. And we have Uncivil. We have Kurt coming in and dropping some comedy because we need it. I'm a third-party intervener for Law and Lumber. I give for value and receive for value. Subscribe. Kurt, thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. I hope your stream tonight goes very well. And thank you for doing that. And thank you for the reminder. I don't do the YouTube-y stuff where I say like and subscribe. It actually really does matter. I know it like takes like 2 seconds. Like, you're watching the video, just hit the little like button. It doesn't mean a lot to anybody. It takes a second here and there. I drop into every single person's live I can to try and just boost the metrics, because it makes the world of difference to the channel. If you guys wouldn't mind, just on your way out, if you like the content, feel free to hit the like button. If you like what I'm saying, hit the subscribe. You don't have to. If you like what Ian's saying, go to his channel and do the same. Same with Law Talk with Mike. I love supporting all the people that have the courage to come out and make content. It is not easy. It looks easy from what you guys see. It's so hard. But it's
the
so
first
rewarding.
video I posted, I quite literally had to, I posted it just before I went on a camping trip, just because I knew that I would take it down if I didn't. So
Yeah.
if I was at my computer, I was like, I know I will take this down. So I had to post it and then leave so that it would be difficult for me to, to mess with it.
Yep. And I posted my very first video at the insistence of Ian Runkle, Alita, Rick Hogue, Nick Ricada, all of them. They forced me to go post a video, and I did it like 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's the reason I'm here today. So
I literally threatened him with firearms.
he didn't do that. He didn't do that to any authorities watching the stream. Ian did not do that. He is a duly licensed and wonderful person. So don't do that. But let's continue.
I was going to say, I hope authorities can take a joke, but I don't actually know that they can. So
they don't know
maybe
how.
I couldn't bank on that.
As a public servant, and
Mr.
now you're
Brooks,
rushing me to judgment
there's no
when
rush
I'm
to
doing
judgment.
things lawfully
Rush
by
to
trying
judgment.
to
We're gonna
notify
watch
you
for a little bit
and notify the court of issues that need to be addressed
Mr. Brooks,
beforehand.
we are in
These
the
were issues-
evidentiary phase of this trial.
Your Honor, you're
Call your
rushing me to
next
judgment.
witness.
You're rushing me to judgment, Your Honor, and I object
I'm
to
aware
that.
of 3 witnesses
I
who are
object-
here.
I object
Call
to
one
that.
of them, please.
Your Honor, I object to that,
Your objection's noted.
and I want a legal reconsideration of your ruling. If not, I reject that ruling and take exception to that ruling.
I understand.
I request a legal or factual basis for your ruling, a written judicial finding of fact and conclusion of law for your ruling, and if not that, an interlocutory declaratory appeal for this matter, and if not, these need to be stayed until this matter is before a adjudicated court of competent jurisdiction, because we have not proven jurisdiction in this court as of yet. Subject matter
You are conceding jurisdiction by making some of these arguments, dude.
All right. And this is part of the thing I was making the comment beforehand. Remember the panic I was talking to you about? The panic, Ian, you know this as a lawyer, because as a defense attorney, and oftentimes I either go first or I go second. And you hate that moment right before the judge says, Mr. Runkle, you may proceed. Or Mr. Morton, you may proceed. It is terrifying. It is. You never want that moment to come, ever. Because you think you do. You walk into court and you're so prepared and you're so amped up and ready to go. And you're going, I'm ready to go. And then when the judge says your name, there's this moment of just sheer freaking panic. And you're like, oh, poopy.
Yep. Oh shit, we actually got to do this. This is actually going down. Yeah, it's.
I am the last survivor. I am the last one to not use a profanity. I got Ian Runkle to make me the last one standing.
I did that a while ago.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. But anyways, now I can say it. You're like, oh shit, now it's my turn. And you're terrified.
Yeah.
And that's what he is trying to avoid, the terror. And you just can't. At some point in time, you actually have to go and face it.
You just got to lean into it, is what it comes down to a lot of the time.
And he's just trying to avoid it. Every single second, he's trying to avoid it. He's trying to do it here. So let's see. Let's see if he does let's see if he succeeds in telling the judge that he wants an interlocutory appeal without actually taking an interlocutory appeal.
Record, Your Honor. I don't even know the true nature and cause of the
Mr.
charges
Brooks,
against me. I don't even understand that part
I
of it. I
understand
haven't
your
been
request.
provided a complaint. I haven't, Your Honor, there's so many issues.
Mr.
and
Brooks,
I'm not
we will
attempting,
take.
I'm not attempting to
Mr.
be
Brooks,
disrespectful in any way.
we
I'm
need
not
to
attempting-
So many
continue.
issues, but none of them are with the court.
Your Honor, I
And I'm going to
respectfully
instruct the
object
jury
that.
at this point to
I
disregard
respectfully
and not
object to
consider
that, Your
any
Honor.
of what has just happened since you walked in. It should not be held against Mr. Brooks in any way. These are legal issues that this court may or may not need to address, but they do not bear in any way on ultimately the issues that you as jurors will have to decide, and I'm instructing you
However, they will totally be prejudicial anyway because
what you have
how
just.
could you not?
Your
Well,
Honor, with
so-
everything that I just said, be made.
Please do not hold against
It is
him that
part of-
lengthy
everything is-
crazy rant that he just went on.
Here's just how does he not get this at this point? Everything that he says out loud that's transcribed by the court reporter is a part of the effing record. The
Yep.
record is what the court reporter transcribes. Everything is a part of the record.
He keeps going like, I want this put on record. She's like, well,
It
you
is.
just said it, so it's on the record, dude. Let's keep going.
It's all part of the record. You're an idiot.
Yep.
Roar!
And
gonna
I
fast
see
forward to
people in the
spicy
chat
parts.
saying, I wouldn't be able to overlook the soft hit BS. I mean, who could? I mean, realistically, you try your best, but oh my God.
Oh, I love this facial expression. That was a good pause. Look at that. He gave that a lot. He gives that a lot. That's not confusion, by the way. That expression, that's not an expression of confusion. It's pretend confusion, but it's masking contempt. It's kind of cool. Not cool. It's really shitty, but it's cool to like to see it live.
It's not my fault.
I'm very
It's not my fault they
expressly-
weren't gonna be prepared to
Mr.
do
Brooks,
their
here's the
to
deal.
do
The
their
jury's
cross.
coming out, and
He's the guy who's not prepared.
I know.
I'm gonna
Okay,
stand my
it
ground
is-
too, but I'm
if
not
you
gonna
don't
be
call
disrespectful or disruptive.
If you
I'm just
don't
stating I
call
want it to be
her
fair.
When the jury comes back out, I'm releasing her from the subpoena.
You can't do that.
For
Law,
your
where's
lack
the
of
lawful law?
cooperation.
You can't
Where's
do
the
that.
lawful law? I have the right to
You
witness
have to
this.
cooperate with this process.
But
Where's the
also-
lawful law?
The Sixth Amendment
Natalie,
right.
chat.
I have a witness available for you to call. I can require
It's
you
not
to
the
call
witness
her
that
right
should have
now.
been called at this time, Your Honor.
It is based on the list that you provided and
That
in
didn't
the
have a
order.
time. That didn't have a time or of
I'm not going to
or an
play
order.
this game with you, sir.
It's not no game.
It
That's what
was-
you don't
it
seem
is
to
a game
understand.
you. I believe that.
Natalie's chat had somebody make a comment that I just cracked up laughing at, which is,
Yeah.
lawful law. Well, what about the fishy fish?
The
That's just
fishy
like,
fish. Dude, pretty much. That's the same logic. It's the
is this
same
a fishy
logic.
fish or is this just a fish? It's like,
A
what?
fish is a fish.
Yeah,
It's like the sandy sand, the dirty dirt.
I feel like they
Anything that-
need to,
like-
like this guy's solitary cell, they need to move him away from whoever his cellmate, like whoever the guy next to him is. Because I feel like because each day he's got like a different spin on it. And I feel
It's
like
the
he's going
solitaire.
back.
It's the solitary game of solitaire.
It's the guy next
Same
to
damn
him.
thing.
He's the guy next to him is saying, how did it go this day? And he's like, well, this is what the judge said. And he's like, oh, you need to try this now. And, meanwhile, the guy next to him is having this grand experiment on Darrell Brooks's life. And I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? Like,
Oh,
move him.
here's like one of my favorites. Hang on. Someone just said this. I have to find it. You guys are moving too fast. Two people did it. The exhibity exhibit.
Yeah.
Y'all are so fast. Yes, it's the exhibity exhibit. Y'all are too good.
Wow.
This guy.
Chat, we love you. You're also
it's
terrible,
just-
but we love you.
It's the relevance. Oh, yes. It's the relevance. Oh my gosh, make it
That
stop.
fully.
I don't care what you believe fully.
All right.
It's not a game.
We.
I don't take
I
this
have-
as a game. That's what
Then
nobody.
game.
That's what nobody. You don't got to explain nothing to me.
Do you want?
That's what you don't understand. You think that
want
this
the
is a whole
opportunity
game
to
to me.
question?
This is not a game to me, Your Honor.
Yep.
Nothing about this is a joke.
I never
That's
said
what
it
y'all
was a
don't
joke.
understand.
You're kind of a joke, sir.
It's
Things
unfair.
in the ship
It's
that's going
unfair, and it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and
Oh my word. Let me tell you what. I will tell you if this happens in Fairfax, the second he stands up like that,
Judge A would have the bailiffs on him.
you're not doing that in that courtroom. No effing way. The second he stands up like that,
I'm just
I know he has
remembering that
taser
one.
cuffs on.
I'm just remembering the one. She was really nice. The black woman there who was they often had her on duty, sort of managing the crowd going in. You remember her?
Oh yeah, I love her. She's fantastic. She's all over. She is all over the circuit court Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She's
She comes out,
fantastic, and
no nonsense. She's like, if you have a phone, I will take it. I don't care who you're texting. You text your baby mama. I don't care. I'm going to take the phone. I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to take it. You're not going to get it back. And I'm going to arrest you. I'm going to put you in cuffs. You're not going to like it. The adult detention center smells. She just,
she's like, it's not going to be hard for me. I can walk you right down there. It's right down the street. But, you know, you're going to have and I'm just like, she would be on that guy just, you know, the instant he stood up, she would be on him to put him right back down in his chair.
And you can look at the deputy's expression in the back. You know that he wants to. He has wanted to since the beginning of this trial.
I have a feeling he's been told that unless she gives a wave, that he is to do nothing. And I think you can see from his expression, like that is the most sad, like that is the most, I am sick of this bullshit face. I think he wants to get up there and just, you know, solve this. But I am sure that the judge has just said, you know, unless he pulls a gun or starts rushing rushing somebody, or I tell you, you do nothing. And I don't think he's happy about that.
Can someone get me a screen capture of that? Because the fact that randomly paused on the deputy's face when he's like, he's like, I have duct tape, I have handcuffs, I have this little button that will zap him. Someone screenshot that for me. That's too fantastic.
I've got, I got a whole thing of special purpose zip ties with your name on it, sir. We'll use up the whole box.
Everything.
There's 20 to a box, and you're going to get all 20. It'll be just for you.
Oh, hang on. Yep. Let's see. Because we are an hour and 30 minutes into a day that was 9.5 to 10 hours.
Yeah, we're not getting through all of that.
We're not. No, we're not. We're going to fast forward through all the good bits.
Joker again.
I never said it was a joke.
What type of statement is that? Your life is not on the line. Mine is.
Oh,
and you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
So I think, Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you should show some respect.
We're going to take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, the jury's coming out, and you need to call your next witness.
Yep.
Thank you. We are
deputy at that point in time has eyes locked on him.
Oh yeah, he's right. And the thing is that the deputy is I'm not a huge factor or fan of body language analysis, but you can get into threat analysis, and that's a whole different thing. He's watching to see how that guy shifts his weight. He's watching to see if he adjusts his stance. You drop into a stance that's like you start adjusting to push off, like you're going to rush something. He would be down on the floor before he got out of that thing. And there's times when people send me things, and I'm a defense lawyer. I'm not like hugely pro-police, right? I'm not going to give you the police, whatever. But people send me these videotapes where they're like, hey, isn't this, wrongful or whatever? And sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is complete BS. But sometimes I'm like, you see how he put his foot back? I'd have taken him down too. And people go, what? I'm like, that is where that guy was getting ready to rush. That was actually the moment to take that guy down. And,
the second he stood up, there should have been, that's the thing, is the second he stood up, there should have been a deputy there. And this is this judge trying to make it look as impartial as possible. The second he stood up, there should have been a deputy like there taking his shoulder and just pushing him back down. I'm pretty sure
that deputy has been told not to, because
he has been.
I've seen this, like guy gets up and, you get a guy who's self-representing, and people self-represent in court all the time, right? It's not a big deal. But the instant the guy starts in on like the sovereign citizen stuff, you just see the sheriff just kind of get up and meander over to stand next to, stand right behind the guy. And it's just like, now I'm just going to be here. And it's just like, yep.
I told you about my first sob sit trial that I ever saw. I was waiting for my trial to get called, and I saw another trial. And when the case got called, all of a sudden the deputies swapped. There was the deputy that were sitting back by the bench, and they swapped out. And I heard the door open behind me, and new deputies came in. And these weren't like the little deputies. These weren't the older deputies. These were like old college linebackers coming in. And I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And the guy gets pulled out of the detention, which is like the lockup, which is right next to the courtroom. They open the door. He comes out, bigger dude, about 6'3", and he says, "I do not." He makes this comment about don't recognize jurisdiction of this court, something like that. And you just see every deputy is around within 8 feet of this guy,
Yeah.
and they are like college linebackers about to just deck this guy. And I'm going, holy smokes, what the heck have I just seen? I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like it. That was my first experience. I was probably 10, 11 years ago. Whew. Yeah.
There was one, the worst I've seen was at one courthouse where this guy who had previously attempted to assault the courthouse staff was there. And there was the sheriff, like a sheriff following him everywhere this guy went. And he started raising his voice. And I saw because I'm watching the sheriff. I'm not watching this guy because I was kind of interested in what the sheriff was going to do. Everyone else is watching this guy do his, his big, angry, shouty thing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, sheriff's got his taser about a half-inch out of the holster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sheriff is ready for this to go down. I'm like, he's disengaged the safety, because there's things to prevent somebody else from taking the sheriff's taser. You have to actually do some steps to pull it out. And I'm just like, this could go down. I need to stand well away from this.
Yep. And while watching today, I mean, like, you guys think we're all composed. I'm composed on a live stream right now because I'm broadcasting. There's 5,800 of you here in the chat. I'm not going to say zap him. But when I'm in my office, in the privacy of my office, when I'm watching this and I'm watching other people watching this, I'm screaming at my monitor things that the sheriff should be doing.
Judge has got this one. And the judge is like, the judge is just letting this guy screw himself. And I think the judge is the smartest person in that room.
She is, but she's also letting him. She's also, you and I are going to disagree on this. She encouraged, we're going to get to that in a minute because I do want to get to a couple of things. We're going to get to that, and I want to have that conversation with you when we get to it. Let's see. What does he say? Where are we going? We're going here.
She wants to make sure he doesn't have a single iota of appeal leeway.
That part I get.
Table, but I presume she'll be back shortly.
5-minute break, and we're back.
Advising the clerk, you, sir, to call the defense next witness.
Can we address subject matter jurisdiction?
No, we
still has to
cannot.
be proven for the record.
I decline to do so.
By the way, right there, that's body language. I know you don't buy the body language stuff. That's comforting. That's a self-soothe.
I think that's I'm pissed. But I love your pause there because she's saying you're free. It's like, I'm declining to address that. And then it's just, you paused right midway, like just after the F syllable. And I was like, you're F? And I'm like, he is F. Like, that is correct. Yep. I was just like, that is the perfect audio pause.
Yep, that's self-soothe. That's control. That is her doing the physical embodiment of emotional control.
Your objection is noted.
Is the audio on?
Your objection.
Do you think you're ever going to turn the audio off, sir? Like, this is a courtroom. It's not Applebee's. There's the recording on at pretty much all times.
Proven for the record.
For the record, I have addressed it.
No, you haven't proven it for the record.
You don't have to speak.
And your objections noted.
Like, that's the problem.
Proven
You don't.
Subject matter
She doesn't.
jurisdiction for the record. Have proven it.
When she shuts him down now, so I'll tell you why I disagree with Runkle on this one when we get to later in the point, because when she shuts him down, you see something that's a little scary, and you see why she hasn't done it before.
Being a public servant.
I was talking to my clerk. I didn't hear what you asked. The jury's coming in.
Yay, jury! Speak under my breath.
You have to honor your oath of office.
Honor your oath. Deputy wants to murder you. Like, really is thinking about it. Wondering how he can do it and get rid of the body without anyone seeing on court TV.
this is the other thing that you always should pay attention to if you're in a courtroom, which is the court staff who have to be there and watch like hundreds and hundreds of trials.
Rush the
It's
judge.
worth watching them to see their reactions, because if you've got the sheriff or the deputy nodding along with your argument as defense counsel.
Oh,
you're
I
sitting
love
there
the
like,
deputies.
oh yeah. I mean, that's where you want to be. That's Happy Town. But
Yeah.
he does not have that.
No. Like that, like when you have the deputy like going, huh? Or nodding, you're like, I got him.
Yeah.
So see how he's look at all the hesitation. Guess who he's calling as a witness?
His ex-wife?
The ex-girlfriend.
Or
This
yeah,
is buying
ex-girlfriend? Yeah.
time. He's scared. He is scared. Look at you, you big bully. You nervous? Maybe a little bit. Maybe you should be. Because
In Canada,
the
he
only
wouldn't
reason
be allowed to cross-examine her.
the
Even if
only
he's
reason that you're
self-representing.
talking, I know. Oh God, man. The only reason that you're doing this is to basically just further the abuse you put her through. You want power. That's what you're doing. That's why you're not making eye contact with anybody. That's why you're shuffling. That's why you're sifting. That's why even then when you sit down, you look down at the desk, up at the judge, down, and now you're going to parse through papers that you've already seen. You know what they are. You're not looking at anything new, and you're pretending. And now you call the ex-girlfriend with all the
thing is,
drama that you
Canada-
can muster.
In Canada, he wouldn't be permitted. They would assign a lawyer and say, even though you're self-representing, this
Look
lawyer.
at the shake. Wait, did you see that? Look at the shake. Look at his hands. Do it again.
Oh yeah. I
Look at it
mean,
again. Ready? Look at that.
the thing is I'm a lawyer. I've
Whoop.
been doing this for like 10
We're
years.
gonna-
I sometimes get a bit of a shake.
You know what? That's too good. Look at that folder. Look at that folder go, man. And he pulls his hands off the second he realizes that the hands are shaking, and he goes and moves. Constant movement to avoid being recognized as being afraid.
I mean, it's a good strategy. I got
It
nothing wrong with
is.
that, because sometimes you just,
I get that. Like I move a lot too. Like when I'm in trial, you move, you grab folders, you move stuff around because you don't want people to see you like actually
Yep.
kind of panic. And that's what he's doing. But
I
in that
mean-
one moment, you saw the shake.
sometime this would be something fun, is pull up the Supreme Court of Canada feed and we can look at the Supreme Court appearance I did, because it's and I can tell you, you'll see some anxiety at the start of that. And that was one of them. So
State your first and last names for the record. Erica Patterson.
All right. Before we get into this, side note, this is the ex-girlfriend. He
Yeah.
and her were engaged in a relationship when she was a minor. He was an adult. There's
Relationship
controversy
is-
around that.
relationship is too friendly, because
Yep.
I mean,
she is very
that age-
fragile.
at that age, I can't see that, or at least here in Canada. Well, no, at 15, she might be, well, they upped it to 16. So, but previously it was 14, which was too low. They upped it to 16, but, consent may not be valid. So it's not a relationship if she's not consenting.
Mm-hmm. That becomes a controversy in a few minutes. But she has been remarkably prepped. Kudos to this woman for being on the stand and speaking her piece and standing up to him who called her to the stand for no other reason. When I made the comment about what his rationale was, that I just lost emotional control and I did this thing and the person to blame is the ex. Every witness he called is not testifying to anything that took place, not the vehicle, not the person that they saw, not anything else. It is just about what led to this event. This is 100% his internal justification for what he did.
Darrell Brooks thinks he's a tough guy. She's way better than he's ever going to be.
Oh yeah, and I love her during this and her composure. She's
Yep.
remarkably well prepped. Kudos to whoever worked with her, whether it's an attorney, a therapist, and I hope to God that she is seeing one,
hope it's
because
both.
you cannot make it through that without going through and getting help. please. But she's amazing.
Oh, she is the baddest ass in that room.
Yep.
And I love her facial expressions. Oh my God, she is just.
Oh,
she
look
is
at that.
just-
Look at that pause. Look at that pause game. We got her looking straight at the camera. Like, look at you. I got you. Yeah.
Bring it. Today, I'm in charge.
She was. And he didn't like it.
No, he did not like that at all.
Oh, the one spelling the name.
I believe it's on the record from previously, but go ahead. You can spell your first and last names, please. ERIKAPATTERSON.
Look, direct eye contact. Wow.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. I'm trying to find some.
Masking anger. The delay tactic that he's doing here is a intentional effort to regain control. I see attorneys do it all the time. You flip through a notepad, pretending like there's something written there. There's nothing written there. What it is the pause. The pause regains control. And you saw her demeanor when she looked directly at him, when she spelled the name, and when he paused, you see her compress back. That
Or you
regaining
Amber Heard and
control.
you write on a
was-
pad where you're
it
not
was-
actually writing.
I mean, it was kind of
I
that, but what
I
you just
actually
saw, no,
didn't mind that. People were bashing her for it, and I was like, no, that makes sense.
no, the writing on the pad's fine, but what you saw him do, what you're seeing here is the reaction to him exerting that power. And what he did when he said, "Can you ask you to spell the name?" And she came straight out and confronted him, and she
Yeah.
took the power back. And when she finished spelling the name, what he did was he backed back down, and he was writing, and he was saying, "I need more time." And the fact that he was taking more time reminded her that he's the one that gets to ask questions. And it was an effort to redirect the power. And you see her kind of react to that. And I hated watching this testimony for that fact, because I knew that what he was doing was an effort to regain power in that discussion or in that interrogation. And it was really messed up watching. This is someone who stepped up forward, made the comment, and is now regaining composure and trying to see if she can get it back. She does. It takes her a minute though, because he goes and takes this time to try and regain power in the narrative.
Now, if he was a lawyer, the judge would be saying, anytime now.
Next question. Next question. Question.
Yeah.
Question.
Are you with us, counsel? Judges don't tolerate this kind of stalling when you're a lawyer.
Golden Girl, I saw your chat. I'm going to pull it up. We'll talk about it in a second.
Trying to find this paperwork.
Power.
Just had it on the table.
Power.
When you're ready.
And that was
Yeah,
the judge's effort to regain power back. When the judge said, "When you're ready," it was basically saying, "I'm in control, not you." God, I love these power dynamics. Not love. I hate them, but you get the point.
And the thing is that if you were counsel, you would not get the when you're ready, or you would get you might get when you're ready, but it would be phrased in a sense of like, get the freak on with it.
Because the thing is, the judge in a non-pro se case would immediately re-exert the power. If you view this as a power exchange, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
This is people having a baton of power, and the baton of power gets passed, and they're all trying to fight over who has the power baton at the moment.
And the
And
judge,
the judge
is always gonna win this fight.
and well, she is, but she waits too long to grab it. And by letting him hold it long enough, he feels like he deserves it.
Oh, I mean, he's going to feel like he deserves it no matter what she does.
Ooh, I hate this. Oh, okay, let's see. So he keeps
You
playing
know
with his
I'm right.
papers. Judge eggs him on.
It was reported there was, in fact, no incident on November 20th, 2021.
That's not true.
Oh, that's
The
okay. So, all
question and the answer.
right, him right there. This guy, him. This was me.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say. We're 2 hours in. This was me all fucking day.
The guy in the back,
This was. Oh.
the guy in the back with the expression of just like, you know, is he still pulling this crap? Yeah, I feel like that's where I am.
This
Dude, right at
prosecutor
the
is
back
me.
there.
Yeah, this prosecutor is me all fucking day. I loved watching him because he had all of the fire that I want to see in an attorney. Every ounce of this guy was ready to spring. And I loved watching it because I felt the same thing that I think I see him having in that moment. Holy crap.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you just want to be the, you know, like this is kind of, in some ways it's miserable, but it's also kind of the stuff that, you know, lawyers really love having. Like, hey, your job is to be the guy who objects to, you know, to the crazy stuff today. It's like, freaking yes, please.
Oh, he
How
was
much do I have
great.
to pay for this? Like,
Wait till we get to the record part. He's
Answer, the reason stated, sir, rephrase, or
So can I
he's so angry.
show the witness the same paperwork that I attempted to show?
no.
No, you can't
And why not?
because you're an asshole.
I just said so.
Relevant.
How's it not relevant when that was just testified to?
Because you're trying to make it relevant because you're an asshole.
Wouldn't that be opening the door?
No.
No, because you're an asshole.
Next question.
Okay, man, hit the cursey jar.
I've broken we broke the seal.
We broke the seal. Okay, fair enough.
Why?
You can't make it through this without Kersey. I'm sorry, you just
Did we
can't.
be reported no
No,
incident in
it's
November 2021?
He's opening the fucking door. Nope. Now we're back to my favorite dude. Oh, and he has the same feeling I do. Thank you, Mr. Prosecutor. Thank you for exhibiting exactly what I wanted to exhibit when he said this. He is sitting there going, you are opening the door. You know you are. You know the judge is going to cut me off when I try to go down this avenue. And I just want to take your head and smash it into that table in front of you. Because you know damn well that there was an incident on the 20th that I can't talk about because there's a pretrial ruling.
Just let him open the door.
And he's
I mean,
trying. Look at him. Like, look at him.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Grounds.
Since facts not in evidence, sustained.
Did you see the daggers? Look, Grounds. Look at the dagger.
Since
Daggers.
facts not in evidence, sustained.
Grounds.
Well, I mean, if you want to watch, sometimes lawyers get like a particular tick over certain things that happen in a trial. And to demonstrate, hey, Rob, what if any?
Speaking to
Nope.
Detective Goof interview.
Have you gotten over that one at this point?
Right.
Almost. Grounds always has me over it.
That was
Like,
not forthright. I just didn't tell him everything right away.
come on, you got it. Regain that power. You got it.
I don't know.
There
Mr.
you.
Brooks.
Yes. There you go.
When speaking with a law enforcement officer, would it be fair to say that you should be truthful and honest?
I was very
Oh,
truthful.
argumentative.
I told him
Objection?
everything at once. Told him the next day, Mr. Brooks.
You know what? That's
Oh,
fine.
yes!
Set up for impeachment.
Yes. Yes. I told next day, pause, Mr. Brooks. That is regaining power. You go, Queen. You got it.
And the thing is, I got no problem with you gave this statement to an officer. Yes. And you understand that it's important to be truthful and honest with an officer. Yes. That's part of impeachment. But he's not impeaching because he doesn't know what impeachment looks like and he doesn't know how. And he's an idiot. So But I mean, the question itself is a perfectly viable question. In the right context, used the right way by somebody who knows what they're doing and, you know, didn't prep for this by watching old reruns of Matlock. And, you know,
And J Car, I'll rewind because I want to see this queen do it again because she does the pause, Mr. Brooks. I want to see it one more time.
Isn't telling everything.
You should be truthful and honest.
I was very truthful. I wasn't telling everything at once. Told him the next day, Mr. Brooks.
and the thing is, you never want to let a witness start goading you like that.
Nope. Nope.
And in the alleged incident on November 20th of 2021, were you injured?
No. Well, you did hit me a little, like a little.
Were you injured?
No, I didn't have any marks on me. Is that what you're asking?
Oh my word. All right. This is where I start getting uncomfortable.
So where were you injured?
By my lip.
Objection.
Oh.
Grounds.
I believe the witness understood the question. She answered it. It may stand.
Did your roommate observe any injuries from the alleged incident on
To the
November
pause on
20th,
roommate and the
2021?
pursed lips. That's
She
a
knew about it.
point of
But
controversy.
there was nothing visible on my face.
Do you know if your roommate had spoken with law enforcement about these alleged
All right.
incidents?
I
November
can't
20th,
watch all of her
2021.
testimony because honestly, I get a little triggered with it because
Because you want to
I
punch him?
represent so many things. I'm not on the like law clock thing here. Like when I'm an attorney and I have to put the mask on, I can maintain that composure in a courtroom. When I watch the stuff on my own time and when I'm with you guys, I'm on my own time. I don't want to watch that. I would rather watch where the judge, like where this stuff goes awry. So let's go to towards the end of this conversation. Oh, wait, hang on. I think we're about there. Right about here, right? Photographs. Where are we with the photographs?
Think you be seated?
It's awful funny. Your Honor, I find
Oh,
it.
hold on. And the questioning about contact after.
Oh no. Oh, sorry. Rewind.
Objection.
Grounds.
I'm going to excuse the jury. I'll rise for the jury.
All right. So excuse the jury.
Excuse the
Photos.
jury so I can punch this guy.
Kind of like I want to. Look at the deputy. Deputy wants to hit him. I want to hit him.
Your Honor, I find
To why you believe the photographs and the questioning about contact after the alleged incident is relevant.
it's relevant because these were sent by the witness.
Oh, so
It assumes a fact, not an evidence.
Oh,
But
so
what is,
The letter
hold
too?
on. Tell me the basis you believe there's been communication and why you believe it's relevant to
It's
her testimony.
relevant because it was testified to.
Credibility is the line you want to make here.
And then also by was the
Gonna get
last night that he was told that the witness was supposed to be so deeply afraid of me and all this type of stuff.
bro, what is with the theater? Why are you doing the like deeply afraid of me and all that? You little 5'8", 140-pound soaking wet mother.
So if you're so deeply afraid and worried about somebody and this and that, why would you sneak
Do
and have
you want to
contact?
open up the door to the other act's evidence of?
That's
you
not
using-
opening.
No.
That's not
Hear me
opening the
out.
door.
Hear me out. Oh, yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
These witnesses have been incredibly careful to abide by my rulings. Sometimes in the court of law, when there are pretrial rulings, the testimony of a witness needs to be said in such a way not to run afoul of that. This witness, Detective Guth, I believe Detective Casey and others, Corey Runkle, and even Nicholas Kirby.
Did you hear it? Corey Runkle. Okay, sorry.
Yesterday, this court has all had to stop them so that they didn't run afoul, or they stopped themselves so that they didn't run afoul of the court's pretrial ruling on other acts evidence between you and this witness. And I have been very, very careful to make sure that doesn't come in.
BT Dub, massive kudos to the judge for making eye contact with the witness right there, because that shows defense for the witness. We lost Runkle because Runkle's in the shop. Massive kudos to the judge right there for making eye contact to that witness, because that was a sign of solidarity, basically saying, like, I get that this is painful for you. I'm going to stop it right now. So, yep.
But if you keep questioning her about whether she's afraid or not, or why she wouldn't have contact or not, you are opening the door to that testimony. All of my rulings have been made to prevent what could be seen as prejudicial evidence. The standard's not prejudicial. The standard's whether it's unfairly prejudicial. But you can open the door to that, sir.
Prejudicial that I have a document stating that November 20th never even happened, yet still the witness can get on the stand and lie on the stand.
You can't do that because that's other acts evidence. Oh, you idiot! You idiot!
I don't know if you can hear me clearly because my phone did a out of battery.
Oh, we've got you. You're good.
All right. I think so long as I don't turn on video. This is my garage camera, so.
Oh, it's okay.
My garage computer.
You only missed me cursing, but you didn't hear it, so it didn't happen.
I mean, I was cursing.
Good, but you were off camera. So we're at the photos get excluded, and now he's trying to rationalize the letter.
Oh, God.
Come on, man. I know that's not
He's opening the door.
That's not right.
Yep.
Then you need to immediately turn it over to the state right now. It may become relevant, but no one has seen it. When did you receive the document? Hold on. When did
Here we go. This blow up is rather fast, and it's not the best one of the day, so we're going to fast forward a little bit through it.
That's kind of biased because the state did the same thing yesterday. When we had exhibit right on the fly, it didn't even exist that I have.
That's not true. That's a misstatement of the
that is true. She said it herself.
Marking an exhibit is not creating an
No,
exhibit.
not marking an exhibit. She said.
You're not going to go down a tangent, sir. I'm going to focus on this, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to make a record. All right. When did you receive this document that you claim was sent by this witness?
It is not claimed. It's for facts.
Sir, it hasn't been established yet. I need to make a record.
So
I want to see the letter. I want to see the letter.
Okay, so
I want to know when you received it.
You guys, I'm going fast forward because this is like one of like the 8 blow ups today.
And I'm seeing some requests.
So what?
I got you. I turned you down.
I'm seeing some requests in the chat to turn me down. I don't have the ability to do that on my end, so.
I did. I turned you down.
Is it or is it not? You stated so yourself on record.
Awesome.
Your child is being umpire.
I don't want to break anyone's ears.
My apologies too, but it needs to be some truth. Especially when we're talking about stuff that didn't even happen, but they're allowed to get on the stand and say that it happened when they know it didn't happen.
So let me make
And the court volume is real low.
7.
And what happened to that paper? Because
No, that's just yours is really high. I'll turn yours down a little more.
And you keep interrupting me repeatedly today. I have shown an abundance of patience this morning. I've warned you repeatedly about being removed from the courtroom. And then every time I try to get into it, you, meaning an explanation and make a record, you interrupt, you attempt to divert everyone from what is being done this very second.
I didn't attempt to do it.
Yes, you do it repeatedly, sir. So you're doing it once again.
Whatever. Make your record.
Oh, get your ass out of my
people are saying I'm
courtroom
still
right
too loud.
now. You haven't talked in the last minute and a half. Get your ass out of my courtroom.
They might think I'm too loud just because they can hear me. And
I don't know.
But I don't know.
I have you down. I have you down a bit.
It might just be
Here you
like
go.
we don't want to hear Rumble at all.
They're just being. They just don't like Canadians right now. No, like yes, like Your ass is out of my courtroom right then. The second you make that comment, see you. You're gone.
What was the
will
comment? I missed the comment
you.
because it's real quiet.
It was this one. Hang on. It's because you're on
repeatedly
something.
to divert everyone from what is being done this very second.
I didn't attempt to do anything.
Yes, you do it repeatedly, sir.
Whatever.
So you're doing it once again.
Whatever. Just make your record.
The document that
Just
Mr.
make
Brooks
your
wanted
record.
to show Detective Guth and this witness was a letter sent from the state of Wisconsin to the court regarding count 77. The state sought to dismiss that count, and they have prosecutorial discretion. And I granted the request that the charge be dismissed.
Why was the charge dismissed?
And that's, I can't answer. It was dismissed because the request was made, sir. They don't need a reason. There's an abundance of case law about prosecutorial discretion. And they chose not to pursue that. My
Right.
guess
Right.
is maybe
All
to
respect.
simplify things and to keep this tidy. I don't know. You know what? I'll indulge you. Attorney Offer, would you like to provide a basis for why the state
Boss move. Like boss move. You know what? Attorney, would you like to give the exact reasoning why I sided with you on this one?
dismissal of that charge prior to the start of this trial?
Yes, Your Honor, because as Ms. Patterson just testified a short while ago, she did not have any visible marks or injuries from that event. And we did have the photographs of her injuries. We did not want to confuse the record as to whether or not there was a battery that occurred on November 20th.
Your Honor, I object to that. What does the letter read?
You have the letter. You showed it to me, sir.
And I've been trying to find it ever since I came back here, and now all of a sudden I can't.
And now you're impugning, though, like somehow you're impugning the integrity of this court,
No,
of
I'm
the
not.
bailiffs of the state. You're accusing, frankly, everyone
Did I
of
point
moving
the
your
finger?
papers.
Did I point the finger at anyone? Did I say anyone did anything?
Not directly, but indirectly you did.
So
sir.
how can you make the assumption that I'm saying?
Can
did
I
point
please
to
make the
something?
record without
Yes,
you
yes, you
interrupting?
may. Yes, you may. I apologize.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But you made repeated comments, sir, about I can't find my documents. I don't know what happened, things of that nature. When you came back out, you took multiple minutes before you even asked your first question of Ms. Patterson. And if I need to, I'll have a bailiff.
All right,
put on the
I need
record
to vent
that
for a
no one
second.
touched your table.
That right there. Yes, like may I please? Judge, respectfully, no. You tell him to sit his ass down behind that table and you make your record. And you tell him that if he continues to interrupt you making your record, you will have that lovely deputy but sitting behind him take out the duct tape that I'm sure he's been hanging on to for every single minute of this trial and tape his mouth shut while you do. This is your courtroom. You control it. I know that you're trying to preserve the record for appeal. You've done that in spades.
The deputy's been sitting there fondling the handcuffs.
He's been waiting. Like, shut him up. You have the power. I know that you're trying to avoid the massive blow up that you're waiting for him to do because he's going to do it. The problem is the deputy or the judge, in my opinion, is engaging in similar behavior to Mr. Brooks in that. Don't yell at me, chat. I'm going to explain it. Just give me a second.
I was going to say, you're going to have to explain this one.
Mr. Brooks has been waiting and trying to prolong what was inevitably going to happen. That the case would be turned over to him and he would have to proceed. He would have to face that moment when the case was now in his hands. And it was going to happen, but he just kept on tormenting until it to try and push it off. What the judge is doing is the judge is trying to prolong the event of Mr. Brooks having that massive blow up that has him physically escorted against his will out of that courtroom. And the thing
she wants to make sure she wants to make sure that it is so impossible, like that it is so manifestly justified that it is impossible to marshal an argument. That even if this guy went and got, the best legal team for the
Clarence
appeal,
Darrow, Clarence Darrow in his hay.
Yeah. You resurrect him and you drag him in, and he'd look at it and go, I can't make an argument on this, on that having been improper. She gave you so much leeway. So
Judge Doro, you are good, my girl. You are good. You're good. You're solid.
I think she's giving him I think she's giving him more leeway than I like, but she hasn't. Like, the danger of giving this guy leeway is if you're in a situation where he's going to get advantage from it. And I don't think he's gained any advantage.
No. He has, and that's where we get to towards the end of today, where he starts getting scarier. Like this is a like a violent animal. Like, and I'm not. This is not anything about just this is like a violent animal, and when you try to train anything, you have to train them. Lawyers get trained, judges get trained. We get trained by harsh and hurtful things. When I'm a lawyer and I'm up there and I do something stupid, a judge yells at me like I have not believed, and it is meant to train you.
But
You
the
are
thing is,
trained by
this guy's
fear.
not really going to be trainable. This guy, you could spend years on him, and he's still going to shit on the floor. He is not going to get house trained, and that is the sad fact of it.
Well, the chat agrees with
so,
you
I
in
mean,
large part.
Trying to get this guy to a point where you're like, hey, this guy's been house trained. He's not getting there. What you're doing instead is you're just backing this up for a record. And you're just gonna let this guy go crazy, let him do his animal moment, and then you've got the ammunition to rein him in. But until then, it can be risky to do so.
There was a part in the trial, and there's a part in the trial at the end of the day that I'm going to get to, because that's where I start getting scared. So I'm going to skip through this part, and then we're going to go through his next blow up, and I want to go to the end because I want to hit that before we end the night.
Your Honor, did I say anyone touched my table? I didn't.
You implied it, sir.
But did I never say that?
Implied. Fast forward.
It's very apparent to me, sir, that every time, I can't say every time because that would be an absolute, but many times throughout this trial, and especially the last 2 days, when the court makes a ruling that you disagree with, or I want to make a record about some behavior of yours, or a further record about a ruling that you that was not in your favor, that you start peppering me with questions or comments, statements. You question me about the law. You ask, is it verified law? It is, from my perspective, a clear attempt to kind of turn us in a direction away from what we're doing, perhaps even to stall and to delay.
I'm sorry.
That's my perspective. I'm making a rule. You're doing it again.
I mean, because it has no validity.
So I am trying to make a record outside the presence of the jury about a line of questioning you want to ask Ms. Patterson. Now, I've reviewed repeatedly up on the bench 90608 and 90616, which are two of the primary ways you can attack credibility. I referenced one of those previously. 90608 is evidence of character and conduct of a witness. I'm not going to read through it all, but it's limited to character that comes from the witness who's testifying.
All right, I'm fast forwarding a bit. We're going to go to blow up.
You know that we're not supposed to have contact, but you still sneaking behind and saying, oh, I wonder how you're doing. And oh, this and this and that.
I don't think she's ever said she was afraid. I think that was the officers who may have stated that, but I don't believe she ever said that. She specifically said today when you asked her, why did you, it was either why did you go back or why did you have it? Look at my notes. And
it was why weren't you forthright with all the details? Yep.
Why are we waiting? Like, I hate this so much because he just.
You think you know so much.
This is my guy. I need him. Come on, come in
with
the fire.
Nobody hears what I say.
I'm going to let the state make a record of why they believe it's objectionable because I haven't let them do that. I've given you multiple opportunities to tell me why you believe it's.
I didn't get these pictures from nobody else. Why was somebody else?
The record will reflect you have 2 pictures that you believe were from this witness.
That I know is from.
No, that you believe.
That I know.
Believe.
All right. I'll ask the state their position on all of this.
My position, Your Honor, is that these pictures, first of all, should not be admissible. 1, because of a discovery violation. We've never seen them before. 2, because we have reason to believe that he did not get them from here.
Go off, my man. Love it. Give me those numbers. Take them off because he has been holding this in for a minute.
Patterson, he is on a jail phone call.
The guy in the back there with the black tie?
Don Woods.
That's my vibe.
No.
Oh,
that's a lie. I object to that.
Let the state make the.
Oh, the violence he wishes to bestow upon Mr. Brooks. Okay, we shall continue.
Their argument without interruption, sir.
That's a lie, though.
3, I believe that these photographs are designed to make a suggestion to the jury that Erica Patterson is a bad mom. I think that is what the defendant is trying to do. And if we're going to go down that road, then we would be forced to counter that claim. First of all, it doesn't make her an incredible witness.
Yep.
If it's even true. And second of all, if we go down that road, we would be forced to counter that claim by pointing out that not only does the defendant not live with the child in question, He doesn't live with any of the other children that he has.
Go off, my dude.
He impregnated Erica Patterson when she was a minor in Nevada. And for doing so, he was convicted of statutory sexual.
Other prosecutor like, oh, you're going there. You're going there. She's like, yeah, I'm not going to stop you. You do it.
Oh no, she's just like, you do you. You've got this lined up.
Yep. Here comes the boom.
Seduction. Pled guilty in March of 2007 to that felony offense and is a sex offender on the registry as a result. So if there's any causation that would lead to Erica Patterson being a bad mom, Mr. Brooks has a direct role in that causation.
Oh, and I love that he didn't use the pointy finger. He did the hand gesture. Oh, I love it.
And that's
Furthermore,
to that.
I'm not
because
done.
that's a lie.
Let him.
Oh, and the I'm not done. And the I'm not done. Oh, this guy was in mood today. And it was the mood that I needed so badly.
I'm not done is a great, when you need to sort of keep control, it is and if you can drop that successfully, it is a power move.
And the dude did it like perfectly. And did it without being he looked directly, I'm not done, no pointy finger, then looked right back at the judge. Oh, it was a chef's kiss. Love it. Fantastic.
At the end of the day,
Let him finish.
we're gonna open the door on that. No, since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record.
Oh, the things that man would do in that moment to Mr. Brooks if he had the opportunity. Did you see his face? Oh, yeah.
Since you think you know so much,
Once
so
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told me she was when we met.
interrupting.
We can ask that question
He is
too. Then
over the
Did you
top
ask that?
animated
Do you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let.
Dude, you are 5'8", 140 pounds soaking wet. You've been in jail for the last year. You want to threaten him? I'm pretty sure my dude is going to, I'm pretty sure every prosecutor at that table is going to knock your ass out.
Now, I want you to look at the bailiff right now. You see what he's doing? He's looking at the judge, and he's giving the judge the, can I go
take
now?
him into custody?
Cannot give me, like, just blink twice for yes, and I will go to town. And so, yeah, that is the give me permission, judge. Just take the leash off, and this pit bull is going to town.
Well, and this makes me laugh. Sarah Trojacek. Rob is in love. Rob has been in love with the older lady prosecutor when she went at him in that rebuttal of his motion to dismiss. I have been making all the same arguments. I am in love with the passion and the argument and the bailiff behind him, the judge on the bench, everyone that is there trying to hold back and then release when they need to. That is that shit. That is what I love to see in attorneys.
No, I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the record.
Right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom. And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter and he can show it is inadmissible, he will not be questioned. And under 906.11, I will declare the cross-examination closed. Thank you. We're in recess. 1 hour.
He keeps going.
Get your facts straight. So let's open the door on all of it then, so we can get all of it on the record. Since you think you know so much.
Yep.
Did you know she said she was 18 when I met her? Did you know that?
That's not an excuse to statutory rage. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was blow up number 1 of the day. That was blow up number 1. That was nothing to what we saw. That was nothing. Oh, come on, baby. We're going to go towards the end because I need to see this. Oh.
Do you remember? Nothing of that nature.
It was the other witness. It was this witness.
And do you recall where you were positioned at with
All
your
right.
family?
So, fast forwarding to give context. How do I do this? I'm going to do the stop sharing the screen and I'm going to do that view. I can't do that because I'm not knowing what I'm doing. I will do this. There we go. Context going forward. And yes, I've got a silent Runkle of the Bailey next to me. He is a handsome silent Runkle of the Bailey.
I was,
Context.
just for reference, I'm using a hammer and a punch. Nobody needs to hear that.
No. Well, unless the punch is directed at the person.
No, it's not that kind of punch. I mean, it would be
Okay,
fun to take a leather punch to him, but
not a lot of ones. I'm thinking
that,
like a
that would be fun.
fist one.
But the chat is saying that you passed the glaring.
Oh, have I? I will rewind. What I want to do is give some context though. So what you've missed in the time that I stopped that until the time that we are going to pick this up, there were at least 4 or 5 or 3 removals from the courtroom back into the courtroom room. I think we probably had about 3 hours of court time today. Total. It was it was something that I have never thought I would ever see in a courtroom, and something I never thought I would be so frustrated at, period. Oh, you guys really gonna make me play this? All right, we're gonna play the sad mom.
Sad mom. I don't like the sound of that.
Did you see the end of it today? Oof.
I did not, but given the context, I really don't like the sounds of sad mom.
Grab your hammer, mute yourself. You'll be good.
I already almost spilled my scotch in my lap.
I spotted more than one individual standing in front of the vehicle. That's why.
All right, so we're gonna go by him. That's fine. Nothing there.
All right.
If you haven't found it yet, you're not going to find it. Buying time and trying not to make eye contact and trying not to show everyone how scared you are. You big, tough, 5'8", 140-pound little piece of garbage.
I mean, it isn't because he's short that he's garbage. He's garbage because he's garbage.
No, but you don't get to act like a big, massive, tough guy when you're doing that kind of crap. And don't worry, guys. I'm going to go through the sad mom pretty quickly here because
Somebody was
just
3
trying
foot
to get
nothing
to.
and walked into the courtroom and headbutted this guy in the nutsack would be the tallest man in that courtroom. So
Green Lanterns scares me more than this guy. Where is this? I want to pull this up. I'm not doing glaring analysis. It's the glare itself. You guys can take from it what you will. Why is it taking so long? Why? Where are you? Oh, this is because he's just a peon. Oh, here we go.
Point out exactly.
So do you want it published?
I'm sorry. Yeah, published.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to point that out.
Just so I know, to use the touch, it has to be published.
No, she could use it.
To everyone here who was a part of Nick Riquet's chat earlier, this is the mom that y'all donated to for medical bills and for expenses. My hat goes off to Nick Riqueta for that and for everyone in that chat that donated. That is absolutely amazing.
absolutely.
If someone wants to DM me the link in Twitter, I will post it in the description of this video because yeah, if we can do some good, we're going to do it. So cheers to all of you who did. But yeah.
But if you're going to have her do it, it should be done in front of the jury.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we got to wait on the jury, right?
Thank you.
For the jury, can you using the touch screen on your screen, can you point out exactly where you were positioned?
When I was watching it,
Yes, when you were watching
right on the corner. Sorry. Oh, well,
it.
if you want
Can
to
you clear,
erase it
can you
again,
clear
I'll do it
the
again.
arrow?
We'll clear it. You can do it again.
Yeah.
Okay, to the chat, there are 6,565 of you here. I have just pinned that donation to the top of the chat. I'm not asking you to do it. If you want to do it, please feel free to go and do so. I am just giving you that avenue to go and do it if you want to do it. This mom's testimony broke my heart today. He put her up on the stand, and I'm gonna speed this up to like 1.5. I didn't like seeing this the first time. I don't want to see it the second time, so I'm gonna speed it up. If you want to see it real time, you can go and see it on Long Crime or other people. But I just want to echo the only reason I'm playing her testimony at all is I want to echo the sentiment that if anyone feels the need to give, please feel free to do so. And yes, this is a cellophane warning for those of you who don't know what that is. That is our Trials of the Century moniker, where we basically give a warning to sensitive content. Those of you not liking or appreciative or capable of handling the sensitive content, please feel free to mute. It really doesn't. Just I will I'll let you know. Wave my hands when things are fair game to jump in. So I think every one of these that I can verify, all the fundraisers I can verify, and I'll do it after the stream is over. I'll go through and kind of sort through them. I'm going to throw them up in the description. So, okay.
If you don't want, do you want the arrow?
Well, it was to the
Clear it again.
Okay.
So it's a touch screen. So use your index finger and you can draw a circle.
Okay.
I was gonna say that.
Well, I mean, it was right there. But
I was gonna say a circle or a little dot.
Well, I thought I was doing a dot. But...
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Heavy
do it
hands.
again. So press and hold while you draw.
Okay.
There you go.
And you said that would be approximately East Main and Northeast?
Correct.
And do you recall if those, well, there's side streets right there that you can see. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
And those side streets would be Northeast and Buckley, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall if there were barricades at those?
I can't honestly recall. I can't be sure.
We can take Exhibit 15 down.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And you said you stayed at the parade until your group had passed.
Correct.
And what time did you leave?
I can't determine the time. It was right after my group of kids went by.
And where'd you go from there?
I walked down. Well, I went to go get the car because I had to go pick them up at the end of the parade.
And I'm assuming at some point your attention got drawn to something happening. That'd be fair to say?
Not necessarily.
What do you remember when you went to go get the vehicle to pick up members of your group? That'd be fair to say first? I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
Do you recall anything happening at that point?
A situation did occur before the said big event that took place.
What do you recall happening at that time once you were on your way to get your vehicle?
I think I need more specifics from you to get the details you need.
Roxanne, I'm pulling this out of order. If there are other families, and I want to be able to quasi-verify them before I throw them up, because I don't just want to start flooding people with that. But if you can send me that link, I will drop the links in the description of the video. Okay. All right. Please, just DM me on Twitter. You should be able to find me Lumber Law on Twitter, please.
Maybe looking for.
While you were getting your vehicle, did you observe anything happening? Did you overhear about anything happening at that point?
Nothing of that nature. Well, all I can say is that I was walking past White Rock.
Did you see anything that may have alerted your attention at that time?
Yes, a car coming through the parade at the beginning on White Rock where the parade was starting. So when I left, I walked down Main to White Rock on the corner there. Then a gentleman, a child who I don't know who they were and myself walked across the street. And at this time, a car was beeping and weaving around a slight curve that White Rock has, and then continued on.
Did you see where did you see where the car went at that point?
Yes, I did. As it came around the slight curve White Rock has, it started to move forward, and then it went straight across when I was thinking it was going to leave the parade route. If you leave the parade route on Main, you're leaving. Sorry, if you turn left, you're leaving the parade route. If you're turning right, you're going right into the parade. And it went right to if you're looking at the parade, it was on the right-hand side. And it's continued on into the parade.
Hold on, just for the record, she was using her hands during her testimony. I just need,
That's
okay. I just need to make a
Yeah.
record.
A lot
of
of
it.
hands.
She
How
was
you gonna
raising
make a
her
record
right
for
hand,
that?
Just kind of demonstrating the course of travel that she described, the vehicle. And I think that's probably all I need to put on the record. Sure. Go ahead, next question.
I want to back up a little bit. When you first observed this car, as you say, you recall that it was blowing its horn.
Yep, the horn was beeping.
Do you recall if you saw who was operating that vehicle?
Unfortunately, sir, I can't recall.
Do you recall if you might have seen multiple people in the vehicle at that time? Or?
You know, unfortunately, due to the time passing, I cannot recall.
That's fair. It has been a while.
There is no book large enough
Do you recall
to
about
throw
what
at
time
him.
that was that you observed the vehicle?
Again, I can't be sure.
Sorry if I keep asking.
No,
this stuff.
I can't be sure. I'm sorry.
Can you imagine how much it's got to take out of her to call this guy sir in this courtroom?
At the time that you observed the vehicle, did you see it strike anyone?
I did not, or at least I don't recall. I'm sorry.
Hang on. We're going to go forward a little bit.
Speeding, but it was.
Do you recall?
Unfortunately, I don't. That it could have been.
As the prosecutor gets redirect, he asks all these questions. Here you go.
Cross.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Bell. Thank you for being here. You testified on direct examination that you don't recall whether or not you saw more than one person in that vehicle we're talking about. Remember saying that?
Yes.
You remember meeting on December 2nd, 2021 for an interview with Detective Jay Carpenter from the Waukesha Police Department?
I remember going as to a lot of topic of conversations. I unfortunately can't recall those too clearly.
Do you remember telling Detective Carpenter that you only observed a driver in the vehicle?
Yeah, I
Overruled, you may answer.
can't be too sure.
Overruled, you may answer.
Can you say that again?
I can't be too sure when some of the conversations I might have had.
Do you remember what this vehicle looked like?
I do not.
Do you remember telling Detective Carpenter that it was a red truck?
I do not.
Can we please put up for everybody Exhibit 15 again?
Okay.
Can we zoom in on the intersection of East and Main?
Yep. Attorneys can't really hide it when they're excited for something.
All right, thank you. Your testimony is that you were standing here on the northeast corner of Buckley and Main Street. Is that right?
Objection already answered that and answered.
Overruled, you may answer.
You said correct.
Correct.
And after
Here, I'm going to jump computers, so I'll just be a moment, but I feel like this I should be on a proper computer for.
Okay.
There is another objection.
Sorry.
Thank you. No, that's okay.
Correct, I was.
And then you crossed through the crosswalk on the north side of Main Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that when you saw this vehicle we've been talking about?
Yes.
So you were standing in the crosswalk.
Correct.
Do you remember a police officer being in that intersection?
I can't be too sure.
Was it clear to you that this was a parade route?
Yes, it was very clear.
Was it clear to you that traffic from White Rock should not have driven onto Main Street
Yes.
unless they were part of the parade?
Yes.
Did it appear to you as though the vehicle we've been talking about was part of the parade?
No.
How many children do you have, Ms. Darrell?
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
4 children.
All 4 of your kids were marching in the parade that day, weren't they?
Yes.
Okay, before we get into this, I just posted a link in the chat. I pinned it. It is to the basically all the GoFundMe pages that are the verified pages of all of the victims' families. And to Lauren, to whomever else sent that to me on DM, thank you very much. And what I can tell is that YouTube and the people that have covered this trial and the generosity of so many have done a phenomenal job. So go to that page. You can see the goals that were raised. You can see where people are in those goals. Most of them have met. Some of them have exceeded. Some of them have still a little bit more to go. Go through. If you do want to donate, please feel free. If you do want to donate, please feel free. Don't feel compelled to do so. I am not asking you to do so. I am telling you that I am giving you that avenue if you feel so inclined, because when I watched this testimony, this person was put up on the stand by the individual that drove the vehicle that caused the injuries that occurred. The torment that she faced, and I imagine other people were subpoenaed or asked to appear there as well. I can't imagine. I don't want to pretend to imagine it. So please, if you do want to go, please feel free to. I'm going to bring a visible Runkle back into the stream, who's now present with us via audio and visual means. Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, good to be back. I just kind of figured might as well have my angry face on this one.
It's pretty good.
Because I have thoughts about Mr. Brooks. They're mostly
Lumber
profanity.
Lumber Lady, I think I pinned that. Was not pinned? Let me see here. Yeah, no, I pinned it. The pin in the chat is the link to basically the collection or the aggregate of all of those families who have lost. So I'm gonna leave that up there for now while we play this, because this is just, we're gonna play it. I'm gonna slow it down to 1.25. I'm not gonna go to full because it gets kind of intense. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play it at normal speed.
Your oldest daughter, Charlotte, she was 14 at the time.
Yes.
She was marching with the Extreme Dance Group as an alumni, wasn't she?
She was handing out candy.
The past tense just brokered there.
I didn't even state why I was subjective, but okay.
You fucking asshole. Attorneys have common sense. They know when to object and when not to object. They know what might sound heartbreaking to other individuals, as in a callous objection with a laugh.
Yep.
That is not something that should be viewed on him as an emotional person. He was objecting. It's just he has no fucking clue what he's doing. To be fair to the chat, I did warn you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will wave my hands when we are through this part, but this part, you kind of have to watch it to understand. Ian, have you hadn't seen this part yet, have you?
Nope. I gotta say, my heart broke a little bit when hers did. When the prosecutor asking the question uses the past tense, and you can see, and this is something that happens to people. They don't
now Ian, all four of these people did survive. They did survive.
Okay. Just yeah, the she didn't like that at all. Like, and even with somebody who's survived something where other people didn't, that past tense is going to remind you of just how close it was. Right?
So let me tell you what happens when you're an attorney sitting behind the bench, when you hear someone else asking questions and you know that the questions you're going to have to ask next suck.
Oh,
Ian, you've been there. I've been there.
Yep.
You get up and you feel like scum because you have to ask a question you never wanted to ask in the whole wide world. And what you're seeing is this prosecutor who's asking a question he never wanted to fucking ask because he never thought that the person that he was trying the case against would be dumb enough to put this person on the stand, but he has to ask the question. He's required to.
Yep. You got to ask. And
this is hurting every single person in the courtroom, including the judge, because the judge is going, this didn't have to happen. Prosecutor's going, this didn't have to happen.
Sometimes you lead those questions off with an apology. Like, I'm sorry, I have to ask this. I understand you understand sort of the way our system works. We've got to get, things have to be said on court or they didn't, so, I have to ask, here's the question. And it's tough. But, I mean, Brooks doesn't care.
Yep. And Eileen, I did see that, and I have also posted the link up there. If we can continue that love, I'd love to. So, please.
We still need a 15.
Yes, please. You see on that map the 5 points intersection?
Yes.
When you were standing in the crosswalk at White Rock in Maine, could you see the 5 points intersection?
I could not.
You didn't see your kids get hit, did you?
I did
Objection,
not.
leading.
Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Objection, hearsay.
How's it hearsay for what she didn't see?
It's not.
Did you see them later that night?
Objection, leading.
He's crossing.
I was only able to see 2 of my children that night.
When did you see the other 2?
Days later, when I was able to leave Children's Hospital.
As their mother, you were directly involved in their medical care, and the decisions that were made in that process in the days after the parade?
Objection, leading.
Yes, their father and I.
Charlotte suffered a chipped vertebrae from being struck, didn't she?
She did.
Objection, leading.
This, by the way, for the chat is also why you. Here, pause it.
Alice, she was 10 at the time, wasn't she?
This is also why you don't want to call as your own witness witnesses who are against you, because like the prosecution might have had a harder. I mean, the prosecution's going to know how to ask these questions, but when you let them lead what is essentially a favorable witness to the prosecution, Brooks really, this is a major own goal here. But you know what? Good. This is hard to watch, and it's going to be hard for the prosecution. If Brooks had much of a soul, it would be hard for him too. But
it is and it's not. Like there's a part of the prosecutor that's sitting here going, there's a part of the prosecutor that is in the mode.
Oh, there's a part that is just sitting there
righteous. He is like,
exactly.
I have the chance to grab the knife by the hilt, and I'm going to there's a part that's
I'm
like,
the paladin,
this is going to hurt
smite evil right now.
Yep. This is going to hurt this witness. It's going to suck. This is going to be miserable. I'm going to hate doing this. But if I can do this, because I need to do this.
Typically, I think that feeling,
smite this evil.
I think typically that feeling kicks in afterwards when you're done and you're through the shit, you're through the really brutal questions, and you go, I just kicked this guy in the teeth. So,
yep. So we're going to make it through this one. And then I'm going to kick you over to Kurt. And I'm going to read super chats, but I'm going to kick you all out of here. I'm going to say, get the heck out of here while I read super chats.
She was.
She suffered chipped front teeth, is that correct?
Yes.
And facial scarring?
Yes.
And road rash?
Yes.
And a broken fibula and tibia?
Yes.
And broken metatarsal bones?
Yes.
She was observed in a concussion protocol, is that correct?
She was.
Your daughter Vivian, she was marching with the extreme dance group too, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
How old was she in November of 21?
She just turned 7.
Vivian suffered a severe concussion, didn't she?
Objection, lady.
This prosecutor is a freight train, by the way. He's doing a really
Yes.
good job.
Fucking love it.
And road rash?
I love this presentation. Everything.
Extreme
Yep.
road rash.
And a lung
Perfect.
Just
contusion?
sitting there.
The patience to wait.
And facial scarring?
Yes.
And your 7-year-old daughter, Vivian, suffered a broken tailbone, didn't she?
She did.
Your son, Grayson, he was 8 on November 21st, 2021. Is that correct?
That is
Objection,
correct.
lady.
He was walking with the extreme dance group, handing out candy. Is that right?
He was.
He went to the hospital after the parade, didn't he?
Yes.
He suffered a compound fracture in his femur. Is that correct?
An open compound fracture.
That's
Meaning
what a
the
compound
bone
fracture is.
came through the skin.
Yes.
That's what a compound fracture is.
I don't believe he's a doctor.
That was objectionable, to be fair.
Was it? I mean, it's clarifying. That's important.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
A police officer saved Grayson's life by placing a tourniquet on that open leg wound. Is that correct?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions.
That was really well done in terms of how he laid that out. And I mean, to be a little cynical, the prosecutor there he knows that the way he's asking those questions is going to make it harder for that witness. He probably knew that he was pushing for her to break down. But he's got to lay that out there, and he's got to, like, the jury needs to see that. So, yeah. So, and I see people noting that the difference between open and compound.
Yep.
in
Yep.
the
You're
chat
right.
there.
Compound is multiple broken. Open is through the skin where it punctures.
So, and like Brooks trying to look upset here. The only thing he's upset with is just how badly that went.
Yeah. The only thing he did right there was say no redirect.
Yep. That is actually, the smartest thing he's done today.
All right. Let's end the day. We're going to end the day. Let's get rid of the day to make this all go away. Go away day.
Yes.
Go away day.
Why didn't you report that was who did your interview?
Hang on.
Hey,
Here.
how can you recall half the travel of the SUV that you claim you saw?
Person sees her. This person sees him in the car.
Can you
Looks
can
at
you
him,
rephrase
sees
the
him.
question? I'm not understanding.
I think it was clear, but I'll ask again. You just acknowledged that there may be some details that you don't quite recall. So would it be fair to say that you don't quite recall the path of travel of the vehicle?
No, that is not correct.
Judging by what you just stated, would it be fair to say that that's a possibility?
No.
So you recall all the details of what you observed that evening, November 21st, 2021?
No.
So what other details do you not recall?
Objection. You're under, how does someone recall the details that they don't recall?
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
Seems very funny.
It
Yeah,
is
objection,
kind of
stupid.
funny. Actually, it is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Be quite fair. It's kind of funny.
Objection, your question is idiotic.
You're recalling
And we want to hit you with something.
purposely not.
Like several
Objection,
things.
badgering the witness.
Yes, sustained. You do not have to.
Yep. Hang on. Let's do that again.
You're recalling what you want to recall and purposely not.
Objection.
Everything about that, not okay. That's not okay. You can't be doing that.
Objection, badgering the witness.
Yes, sustained.
That's
You do not have to
intimidating
answer
AF.
that, and you are warned. You may not badger or argue with this witness. Next question.
Badger or argue. What do you mean?
Next question.
Do the exact effing thing you just did.
Don't intimidate the witness is what I mean.
How am I intimidating the witness?
Badgering the witness by eye rolling, by pursing your lips, by making facial movements regarding her
Does she
answers
feel intimidated?
is badgering the witness.
Are you kidding me?
Under 90611,
You really
please
can't- you
ask
really
your
can't
next
be serious.
question.
You can't be serious right now. Intimidating the witness.
You want to find out how serious she is?
The witness.
The last question was badgering, which is a form can
But you
be.
said
Mr. Brooks, I've made my ruling under
you just
90611. Please
said
ask
shut
a question or
Just stop talking,
question.
you piece of human refuse. Just
discuss this case among. This order is not limited to face-to-face conversations. It also extends to all forms of electronic communications. Do not use
all right.
any
I
electronic
need to do
devices such as a
one
mobile
thing
phone or
before.
text or instant
I'm seeing a request for the death stare.
Yep, that's coming. That's what I'm doing now. I don't like that I'm doing it. It's not fun. I don't
Content,
want-
and today will be the day I earn that subscription.
That's Kurt that you guys hear in the background, which I'm going to get you to in a moment. Why is this moving around like crazy? I don't like that.
Why are you breaking things? Stop.
I'm not breaking things. I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. Stop sharing. Now, oh, I had it queued up too. There we go. When smart people do stupid things all the time, we often do them without knowing why.
Welcome to attention deficit.
I'm not pretending like I'm smart, but let's see. Okay, you guys want to see death stare? Here we go. Oh no, I didn't share audio. Rob.
I'm not seeing any death stare.
Because you didn't see it. Because Rob forgot to share audio when he did it. Here we go. Focus, Rob. Focus. And here we go. Down the crazy zone. All right. Wait. Why aren't you playing?
Rob,
don't yell at me. You can yell at
I'm
me.
not yelling.
That's fine.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I have to elevate.
That's fine. More, Ian. You know that hurts more.
That's not how it was said.
That was how I said. You want to run the record back?
Mr. Brooks.
So I'm the only one. I got one. I
Mr.
got one
Brooks.
ear that work, and I heard that.
This
Come on,
is to benefit you so
No,
that
it's
you
not.
understand
Ain't none of
your
this to benefit
witness
me, so let's be
has a
clear about
prior
that.
record.
Your Honor, when I leave the table, I'm away from the courtroom and I have to elevate my voice. This is the
So she had to
alleged
elevate her
record of
voice
Abel
just for
Lescott.
that.
Stop talking.
Come on, man. Like, I don't know who y'all be thinking.
Oh, bad prosecutor. You don't get to talk to the I'm sorry. That was nope. Like I get that she's mad. And we're all out of those slip ups. I curse. She could have been called out for that. That was bad prosecutor. You don't get to talk to him directly.
I curse on purpose.
I know you do.
It's not a screw up.
I know.
Y'all fooling. I set for value, return for value. This document.
One more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do.
Side note, this is my other spirit animal. Like you guys were talking about me like loving the male guy, the little guy. I love her. She's fantastic. She's all the spice. All the spice. She's a powder keg. Oh, she's so awesome.
Do not interrupt Attorney Opper.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell,
I
can you
believe he
explain-
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI second from 1997.
What you just heard, we're going to replay that, was his fist hitting the table. If that happens in a courtroom where I am, bailiffs
The next
have
sound is a
put you on the ground.
yeah. The next sound is you hitting the floor.
And we're going to repeat that.
7 in old conviction.
Attorney Opper.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell,
I
can you
believe he
explain-
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI second. He
Please.
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI second from 1997, and OWI third from 1997, and OWI fourth from 2003.
That's the death stare.
And is it a death stare or is he just suddenly constipated?
No, when I'm constipated, I don't look that pissed. That's bad. That's that. So he's staring at her like that, and he slams his fist on the table, and he's looking at her like that at the judge. If I looked at a judge like that, my ass would be in a holding cell.
Yep.
Like if I looked at a judge like that, holding cell. Miss Morton, do you have a toothbrush? Yes.
If not, one will be provided. It was the one we were just using to clean the toilets, but it's all yours.
Oh, this is so bad.
Criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking a break.
Bailiff, could you take him in the back and educate him as to courtroom decorum?
Yeah, and there's a quiver in her voice when she said he scares me. That quite
never
frankly,
getting out.
It's uncomfortable. Like she has, that's the first time that you hear her voice quiver, not out of like frustration, but actual kind of like a little bit of, oh mama. So where we ended today was he still has to call his mother to the stand, and him and
as a
possibly
witness.
himself. Yep, mom is under subpoena to show up on Monday.
For what purpose?
I don't know.
Like, mom is almost always a bad witness. Just sort of putting that out there. And I mean this in the general category of not just his mom, but anybody's mom is typically a bad witness. Your mom knows way too much shit about you.
Well, let me give a good example, the best example. What did you name your son? Darrell Brooks. Oh, shocker.
Yep.
We broke you
And
in.
is that the ugly bastard sitting right there? I mean, you can't phrase it like that, but you can think it like that.
I mean, I might phrase it like that. And let's say, I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't mean it. I promise I didn't mean it.
I don't think you could get away with that one.
No, but to be honest, I might spend a night just to say it.
I'd probably be a little more cautious and just say, is that him over there at that table with the smug expression? That I think you could get away with.
I don't know about that.
You know,
Like,
you'd get yelled at. You'd get
I
the
might
judge
try.
saying, you'd get the judge saying, come on. And then you're like, oh, sorry, just, can you point to him?
All right, guys, I have a lot of super chats to go through, but one of my remarkably very good friends and very talented attorneys is streaming at the same time. And I would love for you guys to please go and watch him while I go through the super chats. I will try to get through all of them. I will give you fair warning. There are 207 that I have in the queue, which means that there is no way that I'm going to make it through this evening. Like I will be reading until 2 a.m. I'm going to turn super chats off. Because that's not fair. What I was trying to do tonight was sucks. I wanted to make it through as much content and analysis as possible, because a lot of this stuff I felt like really, really, really needed to be talked about, and trying not to interrupt that analysis. But I will very much try to go through. I'm going to skim through briefly and try to hit as many as I can. What I will promise you is that tomorrow after L&D, Ian, are you doing roll law tomorrow after L&D?
There'll be I'll get some video up. I've got a couple of videos recorded, so I'm going to put one of them up afterwards.
What if I did a live? I'm wondering if I can maybe get Rick to redirect L&D to a live for me, and I'll do a live super chat read through. And then direct to you, or I'll just direct. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to turn this stuff off. Stop giving super chats. Stop doing it. Wait, stop.
Keep going.
Don't do it. I'm turning off. In 10, 9, 8, 7, and they're off on this video. They are off on this video. I'm sorry for all of you who did not send in super chats. You know what? Go send all of the love to Kurt. Do it. Go send love to Runkle. Go send love to Mike. Go send love to everyone else who spent the time to break this down with me on this video. That's one of the coolest things about this is we share time on each other's channels. And when Ian is here with me, he gets nothing out of it other than to spend time with his friend and to sew his mask.
Which is almost, well, the straps I'm going to have to do some fiddling with. So I can't get the straps on today. But the mask part is almost done. So I'm going to have to do a mask reveal when I can here. So I'm going to hang around just because I want to see your expression.
I want to see it. So I'm going to read through them. I was joined by you. I was joined by Law Talk. I'm adding these links of these creators to the description so that you guys can see them. Who else joined us? It was you, me. We had Mike. And we had... Where did my brain start? Natalie. We had Natalie. Why am I forgetting freaking Natalie? Natalie and I were talking all day. Oh, this is what happens.
It's been one of those days, hasn't it?
But you know what's this is what happens. Like you get late at night, and you guys are very astute. But you get towards the end of these days, and when you're streaming, you think it's nothing, and you think it's like not hard to remember this stuff or talk. Oh, this is a lot of monkeys to juggle in a circus. Like it's not easy. So supers are turned off. You cannot give any more money to this channel. If you would like, you can go give money to Kurt's channel. Please flee. If you don't want to hear the super chat rundown, go to Ian's channel, go to Mike's channel, go
give you money
to Natalie's channel. No, they're not going to. Go give to those creators. They are phenomenal, and I thank them for giving all of their time to me.
Guys, I bet he hasn't turned off super thanks on previous videos, so there's still that option.
Don't, Ian, I will mute your ass. I swear to God, I will mute you.
He won't read it out loud, but you can still do it.
And one of my very good friends who has helped me collect some of these super chats left a message. Dobby is free. Toby has been provided a sock. All right.
I can't find my bottle opener.
You have a blade next to you. You have a big stick.
Yeah, I don't want to use a sword for this.
The back end.
I don't really want to use a sword for this. I feel like that's a safety fail. I'm trying to find something a little more practical.
Yeah. And to the chat, whoever's still here, I dropped the links to all of those creators in the description of this video. If you just hit that little carrot, it should pop up and you should be able to see all those creators. So let's start tackling this massive influx. I don't know what to do. Y'all are way too generous. I love every single one of you. I will give you forewarning. The channel locks. Kudos. Good job. I'm impressed. I'm proud.
I'm just like, hey, what if it works?
Oh no. You can't. Oh no. Who bypassed? You can't turn off gifted memberships. Someone, Ian.
It took chat like 8 seconds to figure out how to bypass your directive.
Thank you, Lindsay. Y'all, come on. You don't have to do this, please. I like doing this stuff and I get to spend time with my friends. Like this is like the most time Ian and I get to hang out during the week because this is the one time I get with him where he's like not in court.
Yeah, my court schedule is a little crazy, but it's a little weird. But yeah, we got to. I'm always like I gotta hang out because it's been way too long, and Virginia's far away.
Did you see the David robot?
I did, and that is just the funniest thing.
And Hardy.
Yes. If Hardy turns out to be the big bad end guy, I'm just going to be like, why didn't we neuter that cat the instant we found it?
Are you ready for the Rob challenge of managing his own ADHD simultaneously with Ian's ADHD? And it's called Super Chat Read Down. CMS. The level of disrespect he showed the judge at the end of the day was sickening. Correct. At least she can go home and have a glass of wine, and he can't. Toilet wine is a thing. I don't know if he has it. Hopefully she has more than wine because she deserves it. Sees Dolly. Britta.
Toilet wine is hard to get in solitary.
True. That actually is true. Sees Dolly. Brita filtered Malort is supposed to taste better. I am not going to be trying that. I don't care what you say. Shauna Emmons. Runkle and EDB watch party needs to happen. That was in reference to the voice message that Emily sent while I was in the chat and you were sleeping.
Yes.
That you eventually got, and I texted you. It was the weirdest inception moment like ever.
That I am down for that. We just got to make it happen. Because I got to say, Emily is one of the busiest humans I know. And
Correct.
I know lawyers. And like she managed to somehow get busier than your average lawyer, which is scary. But that would be amazing to to sit down and have that watch party. So that's got to happen.
Pretty wild. Theta Coker. Rob, are you able to enable closed captioning? Asking for a friend. I can't do it live. YouTube doesn't have that really set up yet, but on videos I play, I try to enable closed captioning so you guys can see. When YouTube figures that part out, live closed captioning, I would be glad to add that because I know a lot of people have asked before. Maria Hammond. I don't consent to that name. I don't either. Doesn't mean it's not mine. Mandalore Wise. Ian, we're all well aware of your intruder disposal corner. Ian has a intruder disposal house. The entire house is built for intruder disposal.
I can probably find a sword within reach in most rooms. Or some sort of implement of destruction.
A needle and thread and all kinds of thingies. Pokey SD. Oh, that's Pokey I remember Pokey the Gumby's horse. Search GFM for Waukesha Parade tragedy. Why family to contribute to the GFM of witness mom of 4 injured kids. Yes, I posted that link in my description. I will post it in the description of the video. As soon as I finish, I will grab those. There was a master site of all of the verified accounts. I will post that. Anything you guys can give, fantastic. Don't feel the need to, but please, if you want to, go ahead. That testimony killed me today. My baffled brain, GoFundMe for Family Y. Rackets chat raised 27K in 2 hours. Brooks called her to testify. It was yes. And I posted that. I hope you guys saw that. And it looks like it's well above the threshold. So I posted the one to all the other verifieds so that you can see those and try to donate as well. Waldorf, Maryland, having breakfast for dinner. Great option. And enjoying the quiet since the gremlins are asleep. Congratulations. And I hope they sleep for quite a while and don't wake up at 2 a.m. or whatever time of morning, like maybe 11 a.m. I'm going to wish that. Random fancies. He turns to court camera a lot, over 13 times in his opening. Not the judge, not the jury, the camera. Yes, he does. Because when he says the record, every time he says the record, he looks at the camera. Doubt me? Check it. Question: why are perps allowed to represent themselves? Because they have that constitutional right. Period. End of story. Doesn't that re-traumatize victims? Yes, it does. However, the accused and the rights of the accused are fundamental in the United States, and they are built in to not be abridged. Period. There is a meeting pass where when the state seeks to hold the body over and detain the human and incarcerate the human, that person's right must come before all others, because you, as a state, as an entity that has the ultimate power to incarcerate, to kill, you are putting this person on trial. So you have to respect those rights. It is painful. It sucks. I applaud every prosecutor who preps their witnesses, coaches their witnesses, gets their witnesses counseling, as many of these must have had. But yeah, that right is not, you cannot abridge that right. Brentwood Chic. So many today. To say hi to. Scott, Mrs. Hogue. Mrs. Hogue was in the chat today. Mods, all my chat friends, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, Brentwood Chic. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Kelly D, that poor lady, so heartbreaking. That was the theme for today. It was hard to watch. Southern, yeah.
Somebody in the chat is asking, what am I doing sewing? This is leatherwork stitching, so that doesn't happen by magic. But I'm trying to make a mask because, Halloween's coming right up.
He's doing that stuff.
Yeah, I got to be properly terrifying.
Yeah, no, he's stitching. He's stitching.
So
he's stitching. I can't show him the back though because he gets mad when I do it.
Because I'm really tempted to redo that one because the stitching on it is actually pretty awful.
Nope. Because only I know about it. Only I and you. Southern gal,
Yeah.
Jen. Sad when a judge is scared in her own court. I didn't like that. That look was kind of scary. What's linked to the GoFundMe? It was in the chat. I will post it in the description. Please check it out tomorrow if you can, or when I end this, whenever I do. Karari, by some incredible miracle, I was able to snag an apartment that became available above my business. I can essentially avoid winter, and I couldn't be happier. Holy smokes. Congratulations. That's amazing.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking awesome.
Because I know winter sucks.
That's like the best of all worlds. Congrats, Karari. K-Rab. All the woman's kids lived. The chat raised 30,000 as of now. Their goal was 75. It's raised 90,000 now. I think it's over 100 actually, to be honest.
Nice.
Yep. Good. And the thing is that goal is to meet like thresholds that they need to meet to pay bills. So any extra, great. Jane Brown, I'm late to the party. Oh, is this spicy Runkle night? We saw some. We did. He came back and got on camera so he could be spicy.
Yep. And I just want to say for the record, F that guy.
Oh
Darrell
yeah,
Brooks.
no, you've said it for the record. The record is recorded.
Is it a lawful
Alicia,
law?
It's a lawful law. Oh god, it's a recorded.
Yeah.
Oh.
That guy can go fuck himself.
Yeah, he can. Very, very much so. Well earned and well deserved. Alicia Bennett, happy Friday, everyone. It's my Monday. Getting ready for work. Love watching while getting ready. Congratulations. Not congratulations. Why did I say that? That was terrible. Enjoy the work week / day. Make it not painful. And I hope that you enjoy it to the best of your ability. I mean, work can be fun. I like work.
Yeah.
I like my job.
Sometimes.
Liz Metcalf, we have yet to see the new EDB bot. Yes, you have. I just showed it a little while ago. Thank you for reminding me, though. Alex, hi from Australia, drinking coffee and trying to make sense of the Brooks trial, but it's crazy. Coffee, and there's not enough in the world to make that happen. Elisa Ramirez, can you talk about the chess scandal? Kurt is doing that right now on his channel. His link is pinned in the chat, so you should be able to see it. Defamation
And
case
if
in Missouri
you,
federal court. Hans Niemann versus Magnus Carlsen.
If you want to really understand Brooks's thinking, you can't just go with coffee. You got to stir something in there, like
Cocaine.
scotch or meth.
Meth, probably. Jen K, busy week packing in Nunola, New Orleans, including ball gown. Ooh, lovely. I hope you enjoy the time. Eat a lot of food. I love all the food. Kristen Russell,
man.
DB's actions in court gave me flashbacks to being in family court with my ex. The judge is far more patient than people like, but I think there is a reason for it. Correct. Yep. And Ian had a comment on New Orleans food, and I'm going to use that as an example or a moment to get another bottle of wine.
Oh, man. I so want to go to New Orleans just to eat until I'm stupid because all the things are just so good. I have stuff for a gumbo, but I can't find okra right now, and I need okra, and it's annoying me because that's gotta happen soon. But I don't know. There's all sorts of places I want to go see, and not just in the U.S., but a bunch of them are in the U.S. Partially because I want to go meet people. I'd love to go and meet some of the people I appear on these things with. I mean, I've met Rob, but I would like to meet him again. And, all sorts of people. So that would be a good thing. I see. I'm so sorry, but did you say cocaine? Well, no, I think the thing I'd be getting in New Orleans would probably I'd start off with some sort of seafood monstrosity, just like everything in the ocean or everything in the water, and then boil them, please, together. So I see people saying needs to be hot and dry for okra will be next summer. Usually they have some that are produced from greenhouses. So and I see people saying use frozen okra. I don't know. Somebody's asking, will I show what I'm working on? Yes. I actually just finished the final stitch. And so I'm just cutting the thread here. So thread cut. And now for the fun part. All right. Now we'll wait until Rob gets back because Rob's got to be part of the demonstration here. All right, Rob, you ready for this?
Yes. Plague mask. Whoa, buddy. That is both terrifying and I don't know how to react to that. I don't know what I'm feeling right now.
So, yeah, no, that was a fair bit of work.
May I ask the unnecessary question of why?
I mean, Halloween's coming up.
So you decided to make a full-on plague mask.
Yeah, well, the original idea was that I was hoping to have this done like a week ago, And if I'd had it done a week ago, I would have put it up as an auction for extra life. Because then at that point, somebody could have bid on it. I could have shipped it out and they could have had it in time for them to wear this on Halloween. But it's
So
now
hold it up to the camera. Hold it up to the camera. Get close. Look at the stitching. Oh my gosh, look at that. And
so
the
I did
rivets?
different stitching at the front because I wanted that to be sort of decorative. Whereas over here, it's just saddle stitch, but saddle stitch is going to just, hold up. So yeah, it's
Ian, that's some of the best work I've seen you do. Holy crap.
I didn't design the pattern. I just was following the pattern, but it's a pain in the butt, I gotta say. So, but I mean, I still have the pattern, so I can potentially knock out another one of these things. But they're difficult, especially. I'll just show you the real pain in the butt part. You see this, like the nose,
The bend.
Like, well, not just the bend, but like this part. So getting in there, because you've got to get this stitched tightly, but you're having to push a needle through. So what I had to do was basically just stitch it loosely and then pull the threads with the channel locks. So yeah, but yeah, it's got the full beak on that, and I kind of want to replace the lenses at some point with something like a smoked acrylic, so that it's it's kind of opaque. But I mean, it works.
I mean, I think it's almost creepier with the clear acrylic.
Somebody's asking, can I breathe in this thing? That's what these rivets are for. Is that those are basically breathing channels. So
You're not supposed to breathe well. You're just supposed to breathe.
Well, and I mean, a Halloween mask, any mask that you can't eat or drink in, you're going to be taking on and off a whole lot. So you're going to be sitting there going like,
God, Ian. All right. Okay. GoFundMe, search Kathleen Ural. We did. Thank you very much. Good morning from Bangkok, guys. I finally wake up early enough to catch you live. Yay. Cheers in Bangkok. Rose Tyler, thank you very much for that super chat. Jennifer Sprague, Mike, you made my week. Mike has been a freaking trooper all week. He has been live streaming this, and that is not his gig. He is a real lawyer with a real lawyer job, like Ian and I. We stream at random times. Mike bit the bullet and streamed this trial through for the past several days. So kudos to him. Pam Myers, Corey Runkle, Brooks' ex-girlfriend and roommate, correct. He was spicy. KS, maybe we can find some more Waukesha families that need donations. Again, I will put that in the description. Justin Wright, hey Runkle, where is a World War II weapon collector shop in Waukesha? There is a World War II weapon collector shop in Waukesha. So something to geek out at. They have an MG42.
nice. I kind of want to go there now.
It's always a reason. Tish in Tennessee. Hey, Tish. Thank you for the super sticker very much. Love to see you here. K-Rab, Darrell Brooks would have made Mother Teresa use foul language today. Yes, I think he would have. Tia Nina. Mike, last Friday Night Frenzy. This is depressing. Let's cheer up. Mike, this week, let's stream the Brooks trial just for fun. Oh, yeah. That kind of, yeah. Yeah. No, I get it now. Like Mike last week, this is depressing. Let's cheer up. Mike this week, let's stream the Brooks trial just for fun. Probably the appropriate.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah. Jojo6178. Fudge, Sugar Shack, sweet old boy, use the initials. I don't know what that means. FSS.
SOB.
SOB. Oh, there you go. Son of a bitch. That's some bitch. Ryan 432. Establish a $2 super chat swear jar for members of the channel that violated the profanity ban. I was good until others broke the law. Ian has a mask on. Charlotte H. Mike, do you think Judge Simpson and Judge Manning have missed you this week? Probably not. That was a joke. Hope he gets it. Brad Walker, he shuffles his papers about and looks to them to appear like he gets it. Sadly, this is the most important this man has ever felt, in my honest opinion. You are not far off, my sir. I think you're spot on. Emma Calhoun, use a Shakespeare insult generator to help be creative. I have. It's fantastic. Did you know that cotton-headed Ninny Muggins is actually an animal? It is a
That's
small
exciting.
rabbit. Yeah, I know. It's pretty fantastic. He's a gore-bellied, boiled-brained canker blossom. Not bad. I kind of like that. Someone find that generator. Sue Lillard, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you very much, Sue. Cat in Virginia. Then the pineapple on pizza subject was raised. Don't do that in my chat. Cordoba 82. The guy with glasses came to see Brooks's performance in person, and he's not impressed. None of us were. It was terrible. Kristen Russell. I'm sorry that I missed this earlier. The chat was kind of flying. I wish I would have pulled it up earlier. Have a shout on me, gents. We're all going to need one if we have to listen to this foolishness. Ian Glass. To Darrell Brooks, may his justice be swift. May the jury deliberate for a solid 10 minutes. And may everyone recovering from this tragedy
May the decision of his justice be swift and the execution of his justice be long.
Yes. Yes. And may everyone who was a victim of the tragedy heal in whatever time they need.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you very, very much. Doozy0201. Do you think he's performing for those on the inside? I gave my opinions. I think he was doing a lot. Jessica Martin, one shot of Malort for each of the cursey words. Nope.
No.
I said too many at the end of the night.
Here's the thing.
Super chat in time.
I can't get through a shot of Malort without saying cursey words. So that's just we've created a feedback loop.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was asking, what am I going to do for the rest of the costume? I am considering combining this with tire armor to make Zombocalypse Plague Doctor. Because if you've got a zombie plague, then you got to have a plague doctor for it.
Possible. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm giving you guys warning, and I'm going to apologize. It's already 11:51. I have to be awake to play Lawyers and Dragons. I'm going to save these super chats. I'm going to go and try to find a couple that Ian and I can answer. And I swear to you, and I'm very sorry. I think this is the first time I've ever had to do this. I will read them. I will do a live stream to read them. I'm sorry to do that. It is too late for my mods. It's really late, and I've kind of got to wind this down. You guys were more generous tonight than I thought you ever could be. So thank you very much for that. Let's see. Has anyone figured out who the buff Joey Fatone lookalike is seated at the prosecution's table to the left? Someone said his name was Zachary, I think I saw. Trufflehound won't be mad at me. Bless your heart. Correct. That is the best Southern insult of all time. For Mike's cursey word jar. Thank you. BS manipulation, narcissism. Yep. Pre-accommodation of the island. His island is very small. Amazing analysis. Yep. Mike contributed to his own swear jar. I didn't see that. That's funny as hell. Way to go, Mike. Missy pointing out only has sorrow for himself. Yep, the shit at the fan. Thank you very much for that. Never speak in front of people. Speech in college, subject I knew very well. Correct. Let me see here. Bum, 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 bum. I want to see jurors' faces. Me too, but I showed you Chanley's post. She was in the courtroom. I was in there with Deputy Heard. She actually had a pretty good read on the jury, not so much in the legal analysis, but on the jury, she was great. So I am inclined to agree with her on that one of what she saw. Rob, Ronkel, and Mike are my favorites. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Spot on Rob was saying at the beginning. Thank you very much for that as well. I'm trying not to like panic. There's no way I'm going to get through all of these. I'm going to save them. I have to.
Yeah, no, you're otherwise going to be still at this during Trials of the Cent or during Lawyers and Dragons.
Melly, I'm so invested in this. I went from EDB to Nat to you today. And everyone has something different to bring to the table, which I love. That I think is actually a really good point to make. I'm so fascinated by what makes people tick, and I'm living for this stream. Great job. I have watched all of my fellow content creators and lawyers on this topic. And what's great is I can't not watch all of them. They all have different takes, every single one of them. And I love and appreciate every bit of input. And I give support where I can to each one of those channels. And I wish I could watch them all at the same time, to be honest. It's not possible, but I thank all of you who do.
Sometimes I've been known to watch more than one at once.
True.
And
true.
I think my record is watching 2 and being on a 3rd panel.
I think you've done that. I think I might have gotten a super chat from you when you were doing that. I'm trying to see.
I know I've super chatted you while I was in a stream of my own. People are asking what time is Lawyers and Dragons and where is it? It is 10 a.m. Eastern, which is a miserable time for me, but it is 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's on Hoag's channel. So Hoag Law. And it is, what is it? Dungeons and Dragons and with lawyers, which is its own level of craziness. And it's most people are pretty new to it, which is also super cool.
Ian, I got in this comment last night. I got in this stuff last week, and I don't know how you still react to this stuff, but the people that still give show and like, if I didn't have super chats turned off right now,
oh, you'd be like you'd be getting bombed with that, which, you know, is the kind of problem. I'm like, I get it, but also like, you know, also envy. So
no, what it is it's honestly, people like seeing you. They like seeing us. They like seeing all of this. I love y'all. You have this love for this dialogue, this back and forth. I show up on Ian's channel. I did something on Ian's channel this week that he and I are remarkably proud of. That if you haven't seen, you need to go check that out. There was an incident last weekend involving alleged domestic violence. And Ian came out to me and Ian was saying, hey, can you talk about this? This is not easy. I trust you. Will you talk about this? And it was two people that trust each other, that know the subject, and went out and did that. I am so proud of that content.
I think that's the best video on my channel. And you know, the thing is it's like a criminal defense lawyer and a family lawyer. So we've got the criminal aspect and the family aspect, because both of those end up being relevant. And yeah, it's there's not a lot of discussion about sort of approaching things in a respectful way and a sort of useful way. Like how do we make something better out of this, right? How do we help people? So yeah, I'm super proud of that one. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop a link in the chat, just because. Oh, and Against the Tide beat me to it. So, but yeah, it's that's And that's the thing is one of the things I really like about this is that we get to have some great conversations and some great content. And yeah, I was just like, there's no one else I was like, I gotta get Rob on, because no one else that's that I trust in the same way, and that is going to be able to bring that same perspective to it. So yeah, that was a good stream.
Hey, Scott, this right here, once again, this is my first stream. I've seen y'all after you gifted me a sub on Peter's page, and I've honestly had a great time watching all the night. That is what this stream is about. Friday Night Frenzy is a little bit frantic. That's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's kind of what it's designed to be. And honestly, I'm going to deal with the guilt of not getting the super chats right now. I'm saving all of them. I'm going to read all of them. Every single one of you that showed up tonight, I can't thank you enough. This is still a new thing for me, a lot of it, and I love that I get to have conversations with my friend Ian.
And
so
yeah, thank you for having me. I always love being on these streams, and it's just doing the whole YouTube thing, I got to meet some really amazing people. So that is and I treasure that absolutely. So
I will have Peter on. Don't worry. He and I are planning a golf match. And then that one, you and Rob are besties forever. Yeah, he made me a gift. My gift, that's besties. That's Bessie class. That's beer.
Can I show up at that golf match and just heckle?
Yes, you can. Fair game.
Okay, because like I'll just be there with beers and like heckling and
totally fair. All right. I'm going to bid all of you a lovely evening. I will read those super chats, I promise you, and I will announce it long enough. I will probably announce it to give you guys at least 24 hours notice, so that if you do want to come and catch up, and I will play some of the content from this trial while I do that, just to keep you guys, we're going to keep everyone happy with that one. Until then, Ian and I have to rest up for Lawyers and Dragons, where our famous GM is back. Gonna cause some chaos, and we're gonna have some fun. So until then, Ian, would you like to wish the lovely crowd of us good evening?
Have a good night, people. Check us out on Lawyers and Dragons in the morning. The good DM is back, so check it out.
Ian was the good DM, and Ian has two channels. He has Runkle of the Bailey and Roll of Law. Roll of Law is a new channel he's rolling out. I'm going to put the link in the description for that as well. Please go check it out. Dungeons and Dragons is not a scary thing. I never played, and now I'm like completely hooked because I get to wake up and have this awesome time with my friends. Like, even though it's Saturday in the morning when I want to sleep more than anything in the world, I get to spend that time with them. But until then, hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in, and love you all very much. Thank you, and I will see you soon.